And we are live. What's up, guys? Welcome to our Sunday live stream. We have a special guest today, as you can see. His name is Shittich.
Perfect.
I'm going to butcher that throughout this
No,
podcast.
that's perfect, bro.
But this is the #1 pickup artist in all of India. No, I don't know if that's true now, but this guy has a successful YouTube channel. You're primarily based in which city?
I'm in New Delhi, bro, India.
New Delhi. And give a little background about yourself. Like, what is your channel primarily focused on? What do you guys, really, what's like your philosophy?
Yeah, so mainly it's dating advice pickup. So I've been into the pickup game for like 9 years now, and I've been doing game here in India, day game, night game, and that's what I was talking about. So I think the past 3 years I've been getting into the trauma healing part as well. So I'm starting to come up with all that stuff as well. So combining the two and then just seeing how that really affects our life and how we can make it better.
Cool. I'm going to be honest. So a big part of the reason why I wanted to have you on is because I find that you're almost like my token Indian in a sense. Like I find that a lot of minorities, they have like they think that this works for you, Alex, because you're a white guy with blue eyes, right? Even though I got like a fucked up nose and like whole health, my neck is fucked up and all that. But aside from all that, they see, it works for you. But I like always having on someone who's like the underdog, right? Like, because you're Indian and you live in India, and traditionally a lot of people think that India is horrible for pickup. You can't get laid in India. If you live in India, your best option is arranged marriage to a 5. That's like the only thing. And I know guys who live in India who say that's total bullshit. Like they have some success. The only thing they say is that in India you have to be a little bit more low key, you have to be like a little more discreet because of the culture there. But you can adequately get laid in India, but so I just want to have you on for that reason, to kind of break down your story and all of that, and then just answer questions. I think this can help a lot of guys with limiting mindsets, limiting beliefs. Man. So let's start off by giving a background how you got into pickup and what kind of your journey was like.
For sure, bro. So I was 20 when I got to know about pickup. So in India, there's this concept of like a love guru. Like a love guru, you go on the radio and there's like all these love gurus and stuff. And there've been movies like Hitch. You've seen Hitch, right?
Yeah, of course.
The Will Smith one. So there was an Indian spin-off of the same movie, all right? So when I got out of school, I was in an all-boys school, all right? So never had any interaction with women at all. I would get nervous. My ears would go red just talking to a girl normally, like the girl in my class as well. So my ears would go red. I'd get really nervous. So when college started, I was literally looking out for stuff on I had all these players and these guys in school who were amazing, who in college who were amazing with women. And I'd just be like, guys, how do you do that? And anytime you ask someone who's natural, like, how do you do that? He's going to be like, you just be yourself, bro. Like, what was this? Was this weird guy asking me stuff, right? So they labeled me as a fucking creepy guy.
Yeah.
What?
You just talk to the girl, man.
Yeah. You just talk to the girl, and then I'm asking, I'm like, bro, like that's the problem. I cannot. I don't know what the fuck to talk about. And these guys will be, this guy's creepy. He's always thinking about just girls. I was like, bro, my hormones are going crazy. I am thinking about girls. Like, what's there to fucking hide about? All right, you guys are getting laid here and there.
All right, I need to bust a nut.
Yeah, fucking shit, bro. Like, I'm a virgin and shit, bro. Let's get that done. So, a friend of mine told me about pickup, and his friend was in London or somewhere, and in uni, one of the English guys told him. He told my friend, then he told me, and then we started doing game. All right, first we started just I read the book, Neil Strauss one, The Game. Then we started using all the catch string theory and all those challenges and games in college, and women were responding amazingly.
Really?
Yeah. So I just started negging women, all right. So first 5 minutes they respond amazingly, and then I just take it overboard, and I just be like the biggest asshole after that, because I just keep on busting the balls and everything, just keep on negging them on and on and on, because it's such a big high, right? Like when you haven't gotten any attention from anyone, and now you're negging them. And once you neg someone, they're going to give you attention, or they're going to at least have a reaction. It's very polarizing. Because it's polarizing, makes you feel good. So you don't know where the fuck to stop. So that was my problem.
You had pretty good results with applying like the low-key mystery method and stuff talked about in the game.
Oh yeah. So I remember there was this event that I was at, and I had literally read the game a day before, and I used all those what do you call those chick crack stuff, like challenges and games, and asking them riddles and stuff, and women would hook on to that. All right, and I had like decent enough results because I was very like out there. I was very brash, so it wasn't difficult for me to be loud. but it was difficult to like, what do I say? Like taking it, why do I take that? So it was good. And then I think within the first 3 months or something, I had my first girlfriend, and then I lost my virginity. Finally, like I think I was, yeah, but I got to know about the game at 2021, and I lost my virginity around 22 or 21, 22, around that time. I remember. Yeah. So I think 6 months, 8 months later. And then we started going out. We started going to malls. We started going to clubs out here because clubs were really picking up. And we started going to clubs and malls. I started going out like 5 nights a week. We had like, there's this thing called ladies' night here in India. All right. So there, usually it's couple entry. So you cannot enter a club or a bar without a girl here in India. All right. You need to have a girl with you. And that defeats the whole point because you're going there to pick up chicks.
No,
Why the fuck would you get a girl with you?
Yeah, because then you would just be fucking that girl at home.
Yeah. So what I do is I'd stand outside the club and then just stop the women going in and then be like, "Hi, can you help me in?" And we do this like 5 nights a week. So there were ladies' night. On ladies' night, there's free alcohol for every girl. All right. So women go there in like numbers, man. So it's like Tuesdays, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. All right. So Tuesdays and Thursdays, lady night. Friday, Saturday, normal, and Sundays, ladies' nights. So we'd go out a lot. And then I think it took me 2 years to get my first pull of like consistently going out. And then after that, once I got that one once, and then it just started to, be more consistent. I kept going out. And when I was like 5 years in, I started coaching. So it's been 3 years now that I've been coaching here since like 2016, August. I think 4 years, I think. Yeah.
There's a lot to unpack here. So I think it's funny because our stories are actually pretty similar, even though we grew up on 3 different continents. So I also was a virgin going into college. Now, a lot of people know was a virgin. I lost my virginity when I was 19 I was wasted. She was wasted to a fat chick on a beach in Mexico. I must have lasted maybe 5 to 10 seconds. Most. I don't think she even knew that. She probably still thought it was the foreplay. And I was like, oh my God, so good. But also, my first dive into pickup was also by reading Neil Strauss's The Game. Now, the one thing where we differ. So I read The Game when I was about 21. And at that point, I was having a very small amount of success. I was getting laid. Not because of myself, but in spite of myself. But I was having, I was starting to get some reactions. And I was getting, every night I would get a make out or two. Like, things were starting to pick up. Like, I wasn't
even before game.
Yeah, I was just partially before I read the game. Then I read the game. I read it in one sitting. Like, I picked up the book. I did not get out until I read it. Yeah,
bro. There are just 2 books that I've read in one sitting. All right, the first one is The Game. The second one is The Truth by Neil Strauss. So we'll talk about that later on as well.
Both Neil Strauss.
Have you read The Truth?
No, I did not.
Bro, these are 2 books that I've read in one sitting. Could not stop. It's fucking amazing.
I'll have to check it out. To be honest, I actually don't read many pickup good books nowadays. I mostly read like other parts of self-development just simply because I already have enough theory.
Oh, it's not pickup.
It's not? Okay.
No. All right. But you continue. We'll talk about this later.
Yeah. So the point I'm trying to make is I had the opposite result. So I went out the next night after reading The Game, and I fucking like I was trying to do like negs and like cold reads.
Yeah.
Those are like literally are like, dude, you're fucking weird. Like literally, I was getting way worse reactions than I did before when I was doing my college drunken pickup. I'm like, hey. So for me, like I tried it for a few nights, and I was trying to do negs. I was trying to do cold reads, and it was just a disaster. So I was like, okay, like something is way fucking off here. So then I went back to doing my drunken college pickup, and then when I was 22, I moved to LA, and then I met RC Tyler, and at that point I started kind of learning more shit about game. But I guess the point I'm trying to make is the same book kind of we both found it had different effects on both of us.
Yeah, it just got me really pumped up, man. Just reading that book and just understanding that there's a possibility that this can be done, and I don't have to just like sit around without like a manual, and just the basic concepts of mystery out there. Like the cat string theory is one thing which is amazing that I remember. Like always be the prize and like hands off the merchandise. Like that. Like that's been so good. Like anytime a girl would like touch, like
that shit's so cringe. Like I do.
It was amazing, bro.
Incorporates zero part of that. The only thing I think they were right about is isolating. So I agree with that. I will always isolate. Yeah. Like the whole like hands off the merchandise. And I like to say it with like a tongue-in-cheek humor. Like if I don't teach negs. I don't teach like any of that shit. But
I don't.
That's completely aside. But so the question I wanted to ask you. So what was like how did you go from you started learning game, So you said that you started having some success. How did you like dive into coaching? What was that kind of transition like?
Yeah. All right. So with mystery method and stuff, in the starting with my social circle or in college, it was amazing. All right. If I'd meet people, it'd be great. And the hands of the merchandise would work amazingly because I've got a tattoo on the back of my neck. So you can't see all of it. You have to like pull down my t-shirt to like see it. All right. So anytime a girl would be like, what's that tattoo? I'd be like, hands of the merchandise, stop tearing my clothes apart, like misinterpreting it and everything. So when I started doing cold approach, then it was a completely different deal, bro. I didn't know what to say. I remember making notes of what to say, step 1, 2, 3, 4 in my back pocket. And in middle of a set, going to the washroom to check what the fuck I have to say next. Like DHV, open loop, hoop theory. And I was like, fucking shit, dude. This is so crazy. Then after that, I saw a video. I think I saw an infield of Julian at that time. So 2010 hot seat infield footage. I think that's like a 10-minute infield, like the first infield Julian ever had.
Back when Julian was legit.
Yes, when he was legit. All right. So then I saw Tyler's infield. All right. The first time I saw it, I was like, these people are gonna get me beaten up. Stop. No, I'm not gonna do any of this shit. I like closed it because I got scared. I was like, I'm pretty sure these guys are gonna get me beaten up. But then I got hooked onto the content, right? I still kept on watching it. Then there's one video of Tyler's. It's a video which is like, just do this, simplification in game, all right? Have you thought about simplifying game where you just do this? You do like, you get your little ass over here.
I'm a big proponent of that, although I'm not a big fan of get your little ass over here.
Yeah, not that part. But like,
I'm a big proponent of simplifying everything.
Yes. So he's like, just look at a girl, just go like this, or just go like this, or just go like, you, what's your name? So I was like, let's just try it out. So he was telling about the hand of God as well. So I saw that one and the hand of God. So I went out. We were on the dance floor. It was very difficult to approach. But then I just tapped the girl and then just hand of God, just gave her like a hand of God. She took it. The moment she took it and she came, like that was the turning point. I think that was when I was just hooked onto like, all right, Julian and Tyler. I was like, this shit, like, I mean, I just had to do this and she literally came. And I was like, this shit fucking works. And then after that, we just kept at it. So like dance floor night game has been like my number one thing. Like I love it. I absolutely love it. Like you can just go in. It's
I absolutely hate it.
Yeah. Why do you hate it?
I think it's, well, first of all, I think that if you can dance, it can be good. I can't dance.
Oh yeah,
for
I
shit.
can. Yeah.
So that's a big thing. I can't dance for shit. Yeah. And the music is really loud. Just find suboptimal. Like honestly, nowadays for me, like cold approach, really the best thing for me is around 9. Like the bars in Florida right now, they close at 11. So around 10:30, I'll take my dog for a walk, and like all the chicks are coming out of the bars, dude. Like I'll just pick up like a handful of numbers doing that, and like these numbers like usually fucking pan out. Like I'm having like 50% of those numbers lead to dates. Like so, it's like, and that takes me what 20, 30, 40 minutes. Like it's like super simple. So that's honestly my thing. If I am gonna go out, I'm gonna go to like a more chill bar where there's like where you can talk. Just because like I feel like my humor and my like vocals are such a huge part of my game, you know. So if I can't talk, I feel like I'm being handicapped, basically.
Yeah. True. So like skag hour, that's what we call it. I think in pickup also used to call it skag hour, polo clock, like the last hour when you're out. That's what
I think there's like I have one of my really good friends who crushes it with chicks. He loves dance floor game. He's also a really good dancer, and he literally just goes through dance floor, starts dancing with chicks, and then like he pulls them to the bar. So there's no like right or wrong here, just like different preferences.
But you know, like with the dance floor game, I don't think you need to be a great dancer. You need to have a great energy. You need to be very expressive and be very like you need to be able to just like let loose. That's true. Because in boot camp, if I dance, like whenever I have clients with me on boot camp and I take them out, and if I start dancing, I'm going to be the center of attention. Every girl's going to be looking at me. But then the students will get intimidated because they're going to be like, we cannot do this. All right, it's too much pressure. It's too much dancing going on. So I try not to do that. I try to, reduce my level down and meet them at their level and then dance. And that's like just basic moves and where you're into it. That's it. Like it's the freedom that's what counts out. That like how much can you let loose on the dance floor.
What's like a high level overview of what your game is right now?
For me, bro, I think get a combination of Julian and Tyler and and then me dancing, going crazy. So I'm expressive. I'm loud. I'm funny. I tease and everything. And I'm just like, it's more fun. All right. It's more fun with like a sense of groundedness and intent. Like I'm pretty sexual. I escalate instantly. Like in night game, I escalate right off the open. All right, and then I get really like, like what you call, like intent, and like this kind of look where you're like smirking and you're like flirting with the girl, looking at her like just teasing and stuff. So
I got you. What are like overall like results like? Like ballpark. Like what kind of success rate do you have?
Bro, so anytime I'm out for night game, I pull practically every time. So in India, and I'm talking about, all right. So this is reality. Like you go out, you can pull. Plus the thing here is that when you keep going to the same venue, you know people, all right. So now I know the DJs, now I know the people out there, I know the managers out there, all right. So even when I'm traveling, all right. So one thing which is amazing is if you keep going to the same venue, you build up those leads. You build up let's say I'm pulling that night, but that doesn't mean I spoke to only one girl. I spoke to 15 girls. 5 of them didn't want to talk to me. Out of those 10 girls, maybe 10 of them wanted to talk to me. I hooked 8 of them, got like 5 numbers. Out of those 5 numbers, got 3 makeouts and then pulled 1.
Yeah.
All right. So the next time I'm out, I already have the girls that I've made out with and some numbers already waiting for me there. So next time I'm there, I'm going to add on to more of them. I'm going to get like 5 more numbers. So then it compounds really amazingly. All right. So it builds like a complete funnel, and sort of like, that's what you would call it. It builds like an amazing system in place. So like that.
Do you ever run into the issue? I think this is what some guys, not me, but some guys would be concerned about this, that like, because you're going to the same place and you're kind of like, like some chick that you made out with the other night sees you like gaming other girls, and there's like drama, or like maybe the manager's like, oh, this guy's coming here just to hit on girls. Like, do you ever run into anything like that? Or
I run into it through the guys and stuff, not through the girls. Like never through the girls. There was this one time we were out. I think we were trying to shoot infield, and 6, 7 girls were there with whom I had hooked up with. And it was like, I was already with one girl, other girl would pass by, I'd grab her as well, or not grab her, take her, invite her in, got to take care of the lingo these days, man. All right. So I like say hi to her, and then I already made out with her, and like number of girls were there. So it was never a problem. Like this is when 7 girls who I'd hooked up with in the past, like literally that month only were there in the same venue, and it was all chill from the girls. Sometimes the guys who get jealous, or sometimes, you hit on their girl, or there are more guys with you. Like that's the main problem that I ever have. Never with the girls. Girls are chill.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that. Like, I also like I used to, back when I used to live in LA, and I used to do a lot of like night game. I would just go to this bar all the time, and it wasn't like it was a positive thing. Like everyone was like, because people love watching good games. So like like the bartender were like, yo, it's Alex, all right, let's see. It's entertaining for them. I used to walk into the Whole Foods in LA, and like all like fucking the meat guy, the guy's cutting the fish. He's like, yo, man, you got some phone numbers today? Fucking chopping like salmon and shit.
Yeah.
Like, it's like the highlight of his day. Yeah, man. So the other topic,
I love that, bro. Yeah, that's not here in India though. Like, I mean, the management, if you're doing day game, night game, is not gonna support you. So when we were in the mall, like recently, a couple of things have happened here, in like one of the best malls out here in the country, in Delhi. So there you get amazing women, like amazingly beautiful women. They're fucking quality. You see celebrities there sometimes, but there like issues have happened even in Mumbai. So Mumbai, Delhi, there's like one mall each, which is literally the best. And we've started getting into issues there. So now we're switching venues and stuff.
What are you referring to?
What
kind of issues?
Like with the management. So like they're gonna notice that you're opening doors, and they're gonna come in and they're gonna be like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And they'll like try to call the cops and stuff and try to scare you. So that has happened. And then one time on boot camp as well, this one of my students opened this girl, and she was with the dad, and then he suddenly froze, and the dad thought that it was something very, what do you call, suspicious, and then he started hitting him or something. I intervened and stuff, like a physical fight broke out. So I intervened, we sorted that out, and then it went on to the cops and stuff. So I had to call up my lawyer. But like it wasn't a big deal. Like nothing happened in the end. They were just trying to scare, and nothing really, because we were just talking. It cannot be anything, all right. But the problem was, like, I mean, the guy who, like my client, he became really suspicious. Like, let's say you're talking to a girl, and I'm like, do you know this girl? Why are you talking to her? So he was like, no, I was just talking to her. I wanted to say hi. I wanted to say hi. So he's like, why are you saying hi when you don't know my daughter? He's like, no, I just wanted to say hi. So he completely panicked. He could have been like, hey, man.
I want to fuck your little virgin daughter. My huge Indian cock. I want to give her my chicken tikka masala sauce. You're going to be a granddaddy. Congratulations.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay,
he could have, yeah, he could have just been like, sir, I saw her tattoo and I was just asking where's the tattoo, and I was like, or he could have been like, I was asking for direction. I was like, you look like a really cool man, but that's the thing, like he was new and stuff, and then
yeah. I
yeah,
would
so
just
I
be like,
mean,
be like, yeah, honestly, I thought your daughter was beautiful and I wanted to meet her. Hi, how's it
oh
going?
no,
I would
but
just,
that would have been. Oh no, that wasn't the situation, bro. That guy was probably in the perpetrator energy. Like he wanted to pick a fight.
I can definitely see
Like he
that.
was really protective, right?
Yeah, yeah. You know what's
Yeah,
funny? Like, this reminds me of a story. My business partner, I don't know if you know this, but my business partner is also Indian. We call him Indian P.
yeah.
Indian.
I was checking out your other live, so I saw you did one with him. I think a couple of weeks back. So I was just looking at it.
Yeah, he told me like a fucked up yet hilarious story. So apparently
Yeah.
his sister is really hot or something like that. I don't know. I've never seen a picture of her.
Uh-huh.
But so growing up, she had like a lot of guys hitting on the sister, blah blah blah. And then there was
Yeah.
this one like very low key stalker, like nothing violent. He would just like kind of watch her. Like it never went past that. He was just like a weird guy. He wasn't like straight up stalker, like low key stalker, right? And
Yeah.
so one day, Indian P's dad, he saw this stalker like by the park. Like whatever, watching, he just went up to him and just beat the shit out of him, like just fucking attacked him. Like obviously, I don't support violence like that at all.
That happens, bro. That happens. That's true.
This guy was just like so like overprotective of his daughter. He's like,
yeah.
Which is ironic because then he pawned her off to an arranged marriage to a guy that she wasn't interested in. Like, yeah. So anyway, that's a whole.
It's a cultural thing, bro. Like arranged marriage and stuff. And I mean, I don't like. Promote violence, of course. Like you're not supposed to be violent. You're not supposed to like. I mean, even like the arranged marriage concept. I've been against the arranged marriage concept for a long time, but now, as in when like in my coaching career, I'm meeting more clients. For some clients, they just want to find a girl. All right. When I started pickup, it was all about like meeting women and lots of them. All right, and like having amazing experiences. But now with like more and more clients I'm having, they're just like, bro, we just want to get married. And then I feel like, I mean, I'm doing them a disservice if I'm like, all right, guys, come in to pick up, take a year out here, go out here in a conservative country, get out of your comfort zone, and then maybe you find someone to get married. So for some people, I think it's just easier, like some people are just like, I just want to get married, and I don't mind an arranged marriage. All right, fuck.
Yeah, of course. So this kind of leads me to the next topic that I want to really get to, and that's what do you feel are the differences between dating, sex, pickup in India compared to like say America or Europe, in your opinion?
Yeah, so I've had friends in Europe and America, and the stuff that I've seen through other pickup artists and the other channels and stuff, and whatever I see online. So I haven't been to Europe and US myself, but I've gone to Thailand and Vietnam and met enough Europeans and Americans out there.
Yeah.
Right. So I think the number one thing would be the culture, bro. Like the culture, literally out here, it's not a sexually open culture. Okay, although the Kama Sutra originated here, but it's not sexually open. The main thing, and mostly the population here lives in poverty. Like we're a third world country, so the priority of a parent or anybody, like a father for a girl or the boy, is always to get him to study so that he can earn money. Which is why we got so many engineers out here and so many doctors and everybody going into that stuff. So because of that, there is not enough attention being given to our social lives and our dating lives. And sex and socializing is almost taboo. Like to an extent that now I think I could bring a girl home, but I've never even thought about making my dad even meet my friend who's a girl. All right. But like, and he's quite chill. All right. But there's still that sense of, all right, he's going to start teasing or something like that. He's going to be like, all right, are you getting married to her? But mostly you cannot even tell your parents that you're talking to a girl or talking to a guy. I remember when we were in school, we had to change the name of the girl we were talking to. Like I wasn't, but like my friends, when they were talking to girls, they would have to change their names to a guy's name in their phone so that they don't get caught. All right. So, and that's very true for women as well.
I can't wait to fucking bend you over and
yeah. So I think that's like the biggest difference. And then when Indian guys grow up, or when they go for studies in the States or Europe, where you might have met them, they're very socially awkward. And that's obvious because that's not our culture. And the culture out here is like, so there are beaches and you take off your t-shirt. Dude, I met Indian guys in Thailand and I met them in Vietnam where we were on a cruise ship. We were going jumping into the sea and stuff in Vietnam. All right. And they wouldn't take off their t-shirt there. They were wearing denim shorts and a complete full t-shirt. They were swimming in that. So there's like that sense of shame with the bodies and stuff as well out here, that way you don't like expose, or it's not even exposing. It's just like normally just being shirtless. I love being shirtless, right? I mean, I'm completely fine with it. But like, so when these guys travel abroad and they see girls out there who are extremely pretty, who are extremely, like just fucking banging, bro. You don't see them out here in India unless you're in the metropolitan cities like Delhi, Mumbai, or Bangalore. So when you go there, you see all these amazing girls and who are trying to talk to you or who are just being normal, all right. And in your mind, you're just like, oh my God, this girl said hi to me. So I'm sure, like I'm going to get married to her. I'm going to have kids with her. And all these movies and everything play in their minds and stuff. I'll tell you this funny story, bro. This friend of mine, I told him about game. I used to take him out with me and wing with him, all right. And this was, I think, a year prior when I started coaching. So this dude moves to Germany, meets this girl, all right. He meets this girl, gets married to her within 3 months. And by this time, we've lost touch. He hasn't been talking to me. So he speaks to me afterwards. Gets married within 3 months to this English girl with blue eyes, and she's extremely beautiful. That's what he says. And he brings her to India, gets married. The next day they fly back, and she's like, I think I'm a lesbian. I can't do this marriage. It was so fucked up.
Dude,
she's like, I think I'm going to go.
Yeah, dude. I have a cousin who's lives in my dad's side of the family. They all live in Israel, and my cousin, for some reason, when I met him when he was a teenager, he was the biggest degenerate ever. He was like chain smoking cigarettes, drinking pot at the age of 14, and then when he turned like 18, 19, he became like hardcore Jewish. And so, so then one day my dad tells me, yeah, your cousin's getting married. I was like, what? I didn't even know he was dating anyone. So my dad flew out to Israel, and I didn't go on that trip. And my dad was like, asked my cousin, like, so what, why did you decide to get married? And his answer was, honestly, I just really want to have sex. And my dad's like, so just have sex. He's like, no, I can't unless I'm married. And my dad's like, okay, good plan, bro. They get married, like literally 2 months later, they're filing for divorce. Like, this is like, they got married, he banged. He's like, oh, that probably wasn't that good because neither one of us have sexual chemistry. And like a month later, they're just getting divorced. It's like the most preposterous thing ever. My poor grandma.
And that's a great point, right? Yeah.
Probably excited for like, and finally he's gonna settle down. Yeah.
And that's the number one reason why people get married here in India as well, and they settle down for arranged marriage because they're not getting any. They're not really fucking getting any. That's how they get sex. All right. So it's just crazy, man. But now things are changing, at least in the metropolitan cities, and because of the advent of YouTube and stuff, and more people are discovering this content, and they're trying to go out. So we've got like a big enough community out here in India. But
one common thing that my Indian clients tell me, like this is almost universal. If my parents found out about this, they'd kill me. Like like my white clients never say that. Like they're all like, my mom knows.
So there is that sense of shame around just sex or around just socializing, or like talking to girls because that honor is there. When you're out there, you're talking to girls, it's creepy. Like you're talking to random people. Why would you talk to random people? That's the main thing, that it's creepy. And how desperate you have to be that you're talking to girls. And the thing that you are going to bring shame to the family if you go out there and you talk to girls. What are you doing?
It's just like a very like outdated mindset, basically.
Yeah, it's very outdated. But I think we're coming to terms with it. And I think it's nice. I like how the things are going out here.
Now, let me ask you this. So if you're like a guy like you and you have game and you live in a major city, what kind of results can you get then? Like what's like, can you go out like in India and like fuck like 3-4 girls a week? Like, so you can have casual sex. So it's almost, but is it more like low key? Like you can't be, it has to be more, it's like more like hush hush or
no
so much?
No, bro. The metropolitan cities in India have been westernized. All right. We're completely Western culture, bro. Like if you look at the stuff in the background, that's Entourage, that's Iron Man.
One of my favorite shows, and Iron Man, which is
that's Iron Man, and then there's like Fight Club and Steve Jobs out there, all right. And I'm wearing like a fucking Calvin t-shirt, all right. So my English is also pretty decent. So we've been westernized. It's more Western culture now, at least in the major cities in India. So because of that, all the lingo and the Eskimo, like I've been Eskimo brothers with so many guys out here, bro. Like I can't tell you. And sex is so out there. So many of my friends and like a girl I hook up with, they're like, oh yeah, we've hooked up with her. Oh yeah, we've hooked up with her. It's like everyone, bro, specifically in the club culture. The drugs are fucking crazy. Nobody talks about this. But you go to a club, everyone's on fucking coke out here in India. Everyone's on fucking coke. Everyone's getting drunk. Everyone's on fucking coke. People pop MD as well every fucking weekend sometimes. So it's fucking crazy, all right. And then
now I kind of want to go to India.
yeah. So everyone's doing that.
For India that I've ever heard. Everyone's getting laid. Everyone's doing coke. I'm like, all right, fuck, sign me up.
People are crazy getting laid, bro. And now there's like Tinder and everything going on. People are getting laid there. People go to the clubs, and I know so many girls, bro, who are like my friends now. I have hooked up with earlier, but now we're friends, and they hook up with guys all the time, and it's crazy, bro. And even like my results, like if I were to go out 5 nights a week, I would get laid easily thrice a week. All right, but even now when I go out, like now though everything has shut, but last year I'd go out. It was fairly easy, bro. Like once, twice, thrice, sometimes. Yeah, every week consistently.
So what?
So
So how does that fit in then with the whole conservative culture and all the arranged marriages? Are you saying it's almost like two different worlds? Like some
yes.
people are stuck in the past, and some people like it's like different niches.
Yes, but then sometimes what happens. So women have this like here. What I've noticed is people have like a 2 to 4 year what do you call the lifeline of going to the clubs and partying. All right, so I think a girl's gonna be 19. She's gonna quit by the time she's 23, unless she knows the DJs and that's become a life. All right. So what happens is women go out, they go to the clubs, they hook up and everything. And then I think around 24, 25, they start to find some guy to get married. So if they're in a relationship, they might get married to that guy, but that's not every time. All right. I've had enough friends who are like 28, 27 who are not married. So even the concept of getting married early out here and then you have to have an arranged marriage is being broken slow and steady.
Do you feel like a lot of these chicks probably lie to their future husband, like pretend like they're virgins?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. I don't think they're gonna pretend that they're virgins, but they're gonna really be like, I've had sex with only 2 guys, and I've had only 2 boyfriends in the past. But I'm damn sure they would have had sex with at least 150. Like damn fucking sure.
So you're saying there's some, we use the word slut with extreme love. There's some thoughts sluts in India. Like there's
thoughts
accounts. For
sure, bro. Like so many. I mean, I've got so many stories, bro. This one time I was with the girl. I was at her place, and we were gonna have sex, and she's like, I don't want to have it with the condom. So she was forcing me to not wear a condom, all right. And I was like, when's the last time you had sex? She's like, the day before. And I was like, this week, how many times did you have sex? She's like, with 4 guys. I was like, no condom? She's like, no. I was like, fuck you, I'm gonna wear a fucking condom.
Yeah, that's like the best possible reason to wear a condom.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not gonna do that.
The best
but she was honest.
Wear condom, like, I haven't had sex in years. I'm like, all right, condom comes off.
Yeah. And she's like, I've had sex with 4 guys this week. I was like, what the fuck? And then a couple of years back, we pulled this 3 set, all right, from the club, and it was a week before Diwali. So Diwali is like the biggest festival, like it's Christmas out there. Diwali is the biggest one out here in India, and we pulled them to our place, and I hooked up with one, my brother hooked up with the other one, and we were having sex and stuff. And then afterwards, so there were 3 girls, all right. The third friend of ours could not close, all right. So then afterwards, what happened? My brother and I decided to switch. So my brother wanted to try and hook up with the other one, like the one who didn't get laid, and I wanted to hook up with his girl. All right. So we were doing that, but then my girl got really pissed and she called a cab and stuff, and we had to leave. But then afterwards, cab, the Uber.
Cab. Okay,
cab.
Gotcha.
Not the cop. Not the cop. It's not that fucked up. All right. So she called the cab, but then I made out with that girl who my brother had hooked up. All right. And then later on, what I did was I met this girl again, the one I had hooked up before. And then I told her that my brother's asking for your friend's number. All right. So she's like, sure, I'll send it to you. So she sends it over. I call up the girl, and then I go meet her, and then we hook up. So basically so I asked that girl after hooking up with her, I'm like, no, she tells me herself. She's like, I've been such a slut these past couple of days. I was like, what do you mean? She's like, the past 10 days I've been with 7 guys. And I was like, is this India? Like, and I was feeling like such a big player at that time. I'm like, oh yeah, this month I think I've been with this week I've been with like 2-3 girls, and I'm such a big player. And this chick's like, I've been with 7 guys in the past 10 days. I've been such a big slut. I was like, what the fuck is going on? And that really opens up your fucking eyes, right? It's like, really? That shit's going on?
Yeah. I think that's really good to hear for some guys who live in India who think that,
Bro,
like,
yeah.
Do you ever fuck with dating apps, or is it mostly clubs that you do?
I did check out dating apps, and I checked out Bumble, and I was coaching guys also with dating, because I was getting results, like, I was getting amazing results as meeting girls, but
from
by
Bumble?
this time, from Bumble. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was getting close to 3 to 5 matches every day, and that was great. But I just got bored, man. I met some girls off there, and now I'm just bored. I don't even feel like coaching more of online dating as well now. I'm just like, oh my god, we'll get Alex on the channel. Alex, please, could you help out some dudes?
I'd be happy to. But so the premise is dating apps do work in India, because I know several guys who feel like dating apps don't work in India, and I'm like,
bro, I mean, This friend of mine met a girl on a dating app who was 400 kilometers away from him. She came down to Delhi just to suck dick.
Damn. She's
They
committed.
got they got sexual. They got like so they switched on to WhatsApp, and they were texting, and it became sexual. They were on the phone, something like that. And then she's like, "I'm gonna come over." All right. So within the next 2 days, she planned a trip, came to Delhi. All right. So the thing is that these things work. All right. But people don't want to believe that they work because fucking Alexa, bro. Hold on. Shut the fuck up, Alexa. So Alexa, stop.
Alexa got excited about all this talk about
yeah, fucking shit. She's telling me about the astronomical objects and shit.
Over 500. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, bro, it really works. I have so many of my friends who meet girls consistently, and on Bumble, I mean, the girls were really quality because the quality on Tinder had really gone down. So which is why I went only on Bumble, and I met some great girls. But then they tend to be more in the, like, I don't know how to say it, but like they tend to be more serious in life, and they tend to be more it's more women empowered on Bumble. So some guys might not be into it. All right.
Okay, gotcha. Do you feel like there's more like anti-slut defense in India? Like, for example, when I go to Colombia, right? So my text game, I don't know if you've seen like some of my videos, my text game is pretty sexual. But when I travel down to Colombia, like I even though I still invite girls straight over, honestly, I get laid way more in Colombia than I do in America. But like, I don't sext in Colombia. Like, I keep it pretty low key because I found that like there's a high level of anti-slut defense there for text. Now, once the girl comes over and she's in person, dude, they're going to be the most DTF chicks ever. But like, I found that like sometimes over, not all the chicks, but sometimes over text, if I go a little sexual, they're like, I'm not that kind of girl. Get a prostitute, you dirty gringo. So did you find that India is like that or not really?
Yeah, and then just clarify this. So when you're in Colombia, you invite them directly to your place, or you meet them outside first and then?
So the first time I went to Colombia, I was like, okay, no chick is going to come straight over because, you know, this is a third world country, all the kidnapping, blah, blah, blah. But that was just a limiting belief. My second trip and third trip, I was just inviting them straight over.
Yeah. All right. So I've tried that here in India, and I've it doesn't work. You can't invite girls home directly off an app to your house. That has never worked for me. Even if I meet girl in cold approach and we make out, or to an extent that we're making out and things have gotten sexual, why she's got her hands down my pants or I've got my hands down her pants and stuff in the club on the dance floor, right? This happens so many times. And the fucking manager always playing at me, right? They have the lights, so they see me making out with the girl like next to a pillar, and like, I mean, like I have her up. Yeah, I have her on the pillar, and they like start shining the light, the manager of the club. And I'm like, what the fuck, yaar? I'm like, so come on, man, what the fuck are you doing? So I had to take the girl somewhere else, and they just play around with me. But anyway.
I can imagine India having the most relentless cock blocking ever. Like, I can just imagine like there being a lot of cock blocking situations in India.
Yeah, but I mean, bro, see, here's the reality, all right? Every infield that I've seen outside, even from the Julian days, I have done that in India. Everything I have done that. I've like instant open makeouts I've done. All right. I have pulled instantly. I mean, everything. And that's when I decided, I'm like, you know, it's high time I can start coaching, because everything that I've seen online and in everything that people have been doing, I've done that. And that's amazing. But yeah, coming back to your question about that stuff. Yeah, so even when I meet girls who I've gotten sexual with in the past, like I met them for the first time, even for like a day two, they would not come over directly.
Interesting. Why do you feel that?
So, maybe the ASD. So what I would do is I'd meet them out, grab a couple of drinks, and then be like, let's buy some beer and let's go back to my place, or let's go back to my friend's place, or let's go back to your place. And that has worked amazingly well, rather than just being like, come over. So it's better like, you know, meet her close to your place and then get her over.
Okay, interesting. What about going sexual over text in India? Is that also not going to work?
So with I would not go sexual on text if I want to meet the girl. It's gonna work because when I was doing online dating as well, so much fucking phone sex and so much of nudes and Snapchat shit was happening. That was happening, all right, but it does not always translate into a meetup after that, because she might have ASD the next day. She might, like, if you have like a phone sex or like a sex chat, or you start sexting, the next day she might have ASD or buyer's remorse or something like that. That's true. So I avoid going sexual on text.
That makes sense. Let me ask you one last question on this topic. What do you think, in your opinion, is the best city to live in India for pickup?
Bro, I'll be biased towards Delhi, because For pickup, so the community in Delhi is the strongest because a lot of people out here and we go out regularly. All right. So Delhi is amazing. And then if not Delhi, then you can do Bangalore. I think Delhi and Bangalore are going to be great. Mumbai is also great, but the day game in Mumbai isn't that good. But you're going to find all the models. So Mumbai's got Bollywood. All right. So it's got all the glamour and fashion, which is the Indian movie industry and everything out there. Similarly, Bangalore. But I've got amazing results in all three countries. Delhi is going to be difficult on the open. If you meet Delhi girls, they're very bitchy. They're very like, they've got more of attitude. They've got an attitude problem and they're very like, they've got the bitch shield on, but they're the hottest women as well. So I think it's definitely worth it.
Does it get more conservative the more south you go? I've heard that.
Yeah, for sure, bro. Like, so in Delhi, no one has, so whenever I've been making out with a girl in the club, no one has ever come and been like, don't make out with her. But when I was in Bangalore, I was making out with this girl. The bouncers literally came in and separated me. Literally in Bangalore. And that's supposed to be one of the best clubs in Bangalore. And I was like, what the fuck? I mean, the fuck is happening out here? So it does get conservative. North is still less conservative. In the northern India, you're going to find people who are more, a little bit more like, they have that fire in them, like a little bit more aggressive also, you could say, which is what people think that Delhi people are. A bit more aggressive, but they're as well like a bit more sexual as well. So it goes.
The thing here is, if you live in India and you can't bounce out to the US, go to
Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore. Yeah,
that's good. That's good info for my Indian fans. All right, man. Let's jump into the questions because
let's go.
I feel like we got a lot of good info in terms of life in India. All right, so how do you get better at bantering? What concepts from infield gaming apply to text game? Do you want to take a crack at this question first?
I'll go for it. So how do you get better bantering? So I'm assuming this guy knows infield gaming, right? This guy knows how to banter infield. So if he knows how to I
wouldn't quite assume that.
Yeah. All right. So if he knows how to banter infield, it's going to be very easy on bantering on text because you literally say the same thing. Also on text, I think voice notes are amazing. You can start sending voice notes and
tell my guys the same thing.
Yeah. So you start, bro, and I love sending voice notes because I'm very expressive. I'm like, I feel like, I mean, I like to talk. I don't like to text at all. I like to talk. Like even with you, when you and I were texting, I was like, yo, Alex, can you just get on a call, bro? We're fucking texting. I can't do that shit. So I think it gets very easy. But how do you get better bantering? So one thing that I keep in mind is every time, how do I make anything that I say, I keep in my mind that how do I make this more fun for me and for the girl, whatever I'm saying. So then if you just think about that and then you start to exaggerate and you start to, like, I think it's all practice, bro. Banter isn't something that comes instantly. You need to have some sort of structure. You need to know like what the fuck is bantering, like how you can misinterpret, how you can exaggerate, how you can tease, how you can flirt, how you can push pull, and then you just fucking every time you either exaggerate or you misinterpret or you just fucking just play with that stuff.
Yeah, a big thing I teach guys is I think that this is what I've noticed. Like a lot of the guys who have a really hard time bantering with girls have no problem bantering with their friends, right? So what's the difference? Right? It's the same, it's more or less like with girls it's more sexual, but it's a lot of the same stuff. The difference is that with the girls, they put a lot of pressure on themselves to come up with a good topic, to keep it interesting. And because of all this pressure, it stifles them and their mind seizes up. When they're with their friends, they're not thinking about it. They're like at ease and they're comfortable. And that's when all the good stuff comes out. Like when I'm with chicks, I'm not like, okay, what do I need to do say next? I'm just like very just literally like the way I'm talking to you. Like, well, it's a little bit more sexual with girls. But aside from that, I'm just shooting the shit. So I think it's the big thing, guys, is just practice, just being more at ease and lower the bar for what you consider good banter. Just really shit. Like you can do that with anything. One big thing I say is use the we frame. I like to do that a lot. So I'll just be like, the one thing you don't want to do is talk about yourself a lot. No one gives a shit. You can talk about the girl, or you can talk about you and her as one unit. So like, so dear, when are we gonna go for the honeymoon? We've been planning it for so long. Like, you can just do shit like that. But the one mistake guys make is they just talk about themselves relentlessly, and the girl doesn't give a shit. As long as you're not doing that, you're gonna have a conversation more or less, and then just crack jokes. Like don't
or they sometimes talk about or they talk about some completely random shit which isn't related to her or you yourself. Maybe they're going to talk about the fucking weather or like something which has no relatability at all, like small talking.
Yeah.
Do I
I mean,
still have you? Yeah.
some level small talk is okay. You don't want to just constantly keep doing that nonstop. But like, I'll
Yeah.
sometimes ask, like, I'll like say like, so what do you do for work? And she'll be like, oh, you know, I'm a nurse, blah blah blah. And I'm like, that's easy. I'm like, oh, cool. So do you have your scrubs on you? She'll be like, stop. Oh, come on, seriously. Like, we both know that you got some sexy ass scrubs. Like, you know, if I was your patient, shit, girl. Like, you know, you can ask a boring interview question and then segue to, you know, something very interesting, exciting. You know, you can be like, say the conversation leads to adult, right? And there's nothing, you can just be like, so how was your day? Like, kind of make fun of the fact that you guys have nothing to talk about. Then she says, oh, you know, it was good. How was yours? And be like, good. So did you pick up the kids, right? And then you just do the role play. So like, yeah, it's very easy. And you can be like, did you pick up your sexy red lingerie that I love? So it's like, again, just lower the bar for what's good, good banter, and just practice. You're not
just get into acceptance.
Yeah, you're not going to get better by watching infield. Well, maybe a little bit, but you're not going to get better at it by reading about it. You're going to get better at it by doing it. Like
by doing it, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like these videos, like dude, when I always tell guys to watch me do videos 2 years ago, my early videos. Like they're almost embarrassing. I was just so stiff and awkward. Like I was just like, okay, today we will talk. You know, I was just like, now I'm just smooth, like at ease. Like, you know, just like the quality has gone up. That's just because I kept practicing it.
Yeah, for sure. I think banter took me the longest time to master.
Really? Like, okay. What were some things that helped you master banter?
Bro, so I remember those scripts and everything. And I think, as you said, it's mainly the mindset behind it, all right? And then at that time, I think that was a pickup archive for like 1,100 pages. Everything about mystery, Neil Strauss, Tyler, like the people from the Project Hollywood days. It was like an 1,100 pages long infield. I mean, just like an archive of all of the posts they had done. And then I saw some David D'Angelo, and then I saw some, I think ABCs of Attraction had some like, you know, like poke my butt. That one was one thing. All right. So like the guy's talking to the girl and he's like, so you're checking out my butt? Do you want to poke my butt? No, really, you know, poke my butt. No, I urge you. So he takes her hand. He's like, no, poke my butt. As soon as she's like, all right, fuck it, I'll poke your butt. So as soon as she pokes his butt, he's like, oh, remove your hand, you fucking slut. So all that stuff. So just getting the mindset of that thing, or you know, like just the number of things like that. And that's what made it more like, all right, so I gotta misinterpret, I gotta exaggerate, and I gotta be cocky. So cocky funny was something which is really good. Like just understanding that I can be cocky funny, because that's something that came very naturally to me. Apart from that, I was just trying to do like this slow and steady mystery game. But when I saw Julian and Tyler, I was like, dude, I can't be so slow like mystery, man. That's not my thing. So when I saw Julian and Tyler do it, I was like, dude, this, like, I mean, I'm scared, but if this is possible, it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, you just started talking to you. Like, I can tell that you have like really good banter with chicks, and like I wouldn't even say so much because of technicalities. Just like kind of like guys who have bad banter, they're like this. They're not moving. Guys who have probably who communicate, they're at ease, they're flowing. You know, they're expressive. They're not afraid to like emotion, right? Like I feel like a lot of guys who suck a game, like they have almost like they're like monotone. They have no enthusiasm. Like so. How was your day? But that's not how conversations should get excited at some point. At some point, like you gotta be enthusiastic about what you do. I feel like
for sure, you gotta be passionate, bro. And literally that thing, like I think I saw it somewhere. I think it was Tyler's idea only. Someone's that anytime you say anything, make it sound like it's the best thing ever in the world. So whatever you want to say, even if you're saying like, I think, oh no, it was Julian. Julian's like, I'm having this water. All right, this is the best water ever. And then he sexualizes the water thing, which wasn't very. It wasn't very funny.
What video you're talking about? I remember that one.
Yeah. But it wasn't very funny, but it did hit home the idea. And I was like, all right. So it's that subtlety and the vibe behind it that really matters rather than what you're saying.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So that was fucking amazing, bro. Once I think first you got to accept your own sexuality. So, I'll tell you this. All right. So when we go for immersion in Thailand, so I did immersion last year in December, from Christmas to New Year's. So when we were in Thailand, and with Indians, the problem is, they're not sexual. They're not in touch with their sexuality. And with so much of this nofap coming in, people are just like, they feel guilty even just fapping. All right. And I'm like, guys, firstly, get to that point where you love yourself. Like, you can fucking run around naked and whip your dick left and right and just fucking jump around, right? You accept your body 100%. So here, I
think the biggest problem is when you repress your sexuality like that, it's still going to come out, but it's going to come out in a very creepy way. It's going to come out in things like texts like, hey, I want to sniff your feet and eat your butthole. Like, it's come out like, dude, the most fucked up incidents happen in the most sexually repressed cultures. Like all the incidents like in
True.
Saudi Arabia, shit like that. Like it's not because those people on average are like more sexual deviants. It's just because the culture is so repressive. The more you repress something, the more it's going to come out. But when it does come out, it's going to come out really fucking weird.
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
All right, so we just got this question. I just got banned from Hinge for some reason. Best thing if I want to use Hinge again, make a new account using a new phone number. That one's going to be pretty simple.
Yeah, that one's for you.
What's the best place to close a girl if you're both living with parents at the moment? You want to take this one?
Yeah, I'll take this one. I love this one.
Specific for India because that's probably really common there.
Yeah. So I still stay with my parents though. All right, I cannot pull at home, but I still pull all the time. So it's simple. You either try and pull to the girl's place, or you book a hotel room. All right, so like the amount of so there's this new chain out here, right? Like Airbnb, there's Oyo out here in India. So literally, they only exist so that you can pull girls out there. Everyone in Delhi, everyone all over the country uses that so that they can pull girls out there and they can take a girl there. All right, so that's one thing that you can do, but you got to be smooth with it. You got to know how to do it. So you can do that. You can pull in your fucking car, man. I've had the amount of times I've had sex in a car is fucking crazy. All right, and this one time, bro, I think the first 2 years of game, I found a car which was open. All right, so it was unlocked. I some random parked car, bro, in my friend's colony. So I hooked up inside that at like 3 a.m. and the
backseat jerking off.
What?
The dude was actually in the backseat jerking off. He's like hoping to break into his car and fuck in front of it. It's like, yeah, free can you give a quick summary of how you would go about pulling to a hotel? Like, what would be your approach?
All right. So if it's night game, let's just take it for the night game. If it's night game, I am going to make sure that, so I usually make sure that I make out with the girl. All right. So if I make out with the girl, the intent is there, the sexuality is there, and the gap from taking her from the make out to the pull or to the full close isn't too much. All right. Sometimes what people do is they don't sexualize it enough. They don't have clear intent and they try to pull the girl and the girl gets creeped out or she's just not into it. Sometimes they pull the girl home and they're happy because they've got the pull, but they've lost the girl. All right. So I try to get to the makeout. Even after the day 2 when I'm pulling, I'm always going to get to the makeout because that makes me be sure that, all right, the frame is set, there's intent, there's man to woman going, and she knows what the fuck is up. So after that, I'm going to, like, if I'm in the club, I've made out with the girl, and then I'm going to be like, yo, let's go grab something to eat. So she's going to be like, yeah, sure. Or so once she says, yeah, sure, we get out of the club, we go someplace, we go to like a 24/7, which is like a 7-Eleven. We do that. Or I'm like, while on the way, I'm going to be like, you know what, let's just Zomato. So Zomato's like Uber Eats. So let's just Uber Eats. She's like, yeah, sure. Do you have a place? I was like, yeah, I mean, I do. We can go right here. And so I just book a hotel room. I just reach there directly. And then now we're there and she gives her ID and we enter. Sometimes, this one time what happened, so you got to give your government approved ID, all right, for you to enter a hotel room, all right, if you want to book a room. So this one time a girl did not have that. So she didn't have that. We had to go back to her place, pick it up, and then come back at like 4 a.m. That was a guaranteed that my pool is going to be spoiled, but that didn't happen. And that was pretty surprising. So I think I'd baby step it rather than thinking that I would never tell a girl, let's go to a hotel room because I want to have sex with you. Never. I'm going to be like, let's go grab something to eat. Let's go after party. Hotel room after party is not going to work. It's like, let's grab some drinks or let's grab some food. I think the food has been like the easiest one. We grab some food and then we're like, we're going to Uber Eats. You order the food, go to that place. And never has it happened that, we've gone someplace and the girl has been like, no.
So it's basically a 2-step process. The first step is to make out the club, build a lot of sexual tension, actually get her turned on. Like, so she knows what's up.
For sure.
The second part of the plan is not to be more implicit about it. You're not being like, hey, let's go to a hotel. You're just kind of you're finding an excuse for her logical mind to do
also
what she subconsciously wants.
Yeah. Also, one more thing. So I tell her, when I tell her that let's order Zomato and let's go to my place. So if we're going to land up at the hotel room, she's going to be like, dude, where's your place? So in the cab, once we're going to my place, I pre-frame that I'm crashing here tonight. All right. So I say that I'm crashing here tonight and I can't go back home. So she knows. So it's not like I'm booking this hotel so that we can have sex. It's just like I'm crashing here tonight. And then in the cab, she's like, where? Like, just this place that I've booked. And I've literally booked that place right there. And when we're there, we're going to check in right in front of her. But it's still not going to
book it on your phone or?
Yeah, on my phone, on the way. So I book the nearest one. I don't book it. So wherever I meet the girl, I book the nearest one, or I book one which is really nice. So it just depends. And another thing, I'll just give this another thing, because some people might not even have the money for hotels. So for hotels in India, you got to pay like $1,000 or $2,000, which is like $30 at max, $15 to $30 a night. So what I used to do when I was in college, we didn't have any money, didn't have any pocket money or anything from my parents, wasn't earning. So what I do was, if let's say it's $1,000, which is like $15. So if it was $1,000, we'd tell the girl that it's $2,000 and we'd tell her to split it. So now, although I don't have any money, she's going to pay half of it and I'm going to pay half of it. Did you get that?
Yeah, no, I got it. It's funny. I was thinking, because your approach is actually almost identical to mine. So I mean, I have a place, but literally when I have a date at the bar. So literally, what you're describing is kind of a variation of what I do. So I build a lot of sexual tension. Sometimes I make out at the bar, sometimes I don't. But there's always, every single time, there's a lot of sexual tension, right? So I don't go for the pull, before some sexual tension has been built. Then once that happens, I just say, hey, let's get out here. And the girl will be like, oh, cool, where we going? I'm like, oh, I know a really romantic spot, right? And the girl will be like, okay. And then she'd be like, where's the spot? I'd be like, oh, trust me, you're going to love it. Like, you're going to love this. I like oversell it, right? Even though my apartment is fucked usually. Sure. My dog's like sprawled out and shit. But anyway, so I do that. And usually, like, dude, I've had numerous times where the girl's like, wait, are you taking me to your place? Like, listen, I just met you. You really think I'm going to invite you to my home? She's like, yeah, okay, fine. And some chicks are like, I know you're taking me to your house. I'm like, I would never do that. And then we just show up at my house, right?
Yeah.
That shit works way better than actually saying, let's go to my place. Because it's more like, when you're at a bar and you say to a chick, let's go back to my place, she has to make a binary decision. And it's a snap. So she might like you. She might even want to hook up with you. But she just has to, like, she's pressured into saying yes or no. Versus if you just leave.
Also the ASD.
Yeah, and the anti-study. But if you leave, like, if the girl's truly uncomfortable, she will not go inside. But if you build sexual tension, that rarely ever happens. Like, I would say, 9 out of 10 times, or something like even more than that, the girl goes inside, right? Like, and I get 3 different responses when it comes to this. First response is when the girl is like, that was a really good game. So when they actually compliment my approach, I love that. Second type is when the girl's just doesn't say anything, and then usually they'll bring it up like on our third date, be like, yeah, that was kind of clever the way you lured me to your place. And then the third is, when I get an objection, right? And then you can just deal with it. Like, for example, some chicks would be like, oh, this is your place. I don't know. I got to be up early tomorrow. I'd be like, listen, I got to be up early too. Well, let's just have one drink. Or like, oh, no, your place. What for a serial killer? I'm like, oh, listen, I'm going to pinky promise. Let's both pinky promise that we're not going to serial kill each other. And most of the time, as long as you're not like pushy, you're confident, back, you can make the girl feel comfortable with that idea.
Also, excuses like, I got to charge my phone. So just 2 minutes, I'm going to go in, I'm going to charge my phone and come out. Or like, I just got to use the washroom. Do you want to use the washroom by the time I charge my phone? So once she's in, then you're going to pour some drinks and you're going to...
Inside your vagina. Have you ever seen the show Mad Men? What do you think of Don Draper's? Have you ever seen Mad Men?
I just know about the character Don Draper, but I haven't seen it. You want to take this one?
No, dude. I'm the same way. I know about the character, and I've seen like clips. I don't know enough about him.
I can talk about Entourage and Ari Gold, bro. That's what I can talk about.
Yeah. You know that guy Ari Gold? So the guy who plays in Jeremy Piven is actually supposed to be like in real life. There's like some stories about how he's like chases these chicks and they're like not into him. Like in real life, he's apparently like, I don't know if this is true. This is what I've heard. But he's like real thirsty and shit. Like he gets hung up on chicks and shit like that. So his game is good in the show, but apparently in real life. But he's got crazy status, so I'm sure that balances it out.
Yeah, I always think about this thing, like I've seen so many guys who are thirsty out here with girls and stuff. And mostly, what I see here in India, or I think everywhere, guys are just thirsty, like always DMing girls, just being out there. And the thing is, like, those guys, like, I'm not sure, like, do they even get laid? Do they not get laid? But sometimes, like, I don't know. If they're good looking, I think they do get laid. So I'm just confused with this thing. What do you think about that?
Like, if
someone's good looking, if someone's good looking and he's thirsty and he's chasing girls and he's DMing random girls, I'm pretty sure he must be just by the sheer amount of the numbers game, he might still be getting some girls, right?
I think so. You kind of said it best. I think he gets some girls, but he's getting laid more of in spite of himself, not because of himself. So that was exactly me in my early 20s. Like I was getting laid here and there, but it was the times I was getting laid was because the girl was like, this guy's good looking and I think he's a good guy, and they would just ignore
Yeah.
the fact that my game sucks. So I think that probably happens. But neediness is universally unattractive for women. You know, if you're like real thirsty, that's gonna turn the chicks off. So I think like usually when a guy like has abundance in his life, he's not getting to chase girls. Like me now, I literally never chase chicks. Like it just doesn't matter to me. Like if a chick bails on me, like I don't care. I'm not gonna get mad at her. I don't give a shit. Like, cause I have like, you know, a bunch of other girls I can hang out with, and I just got like other shit going on. But, like me in my early 20s, you know, I was definitely like a lot more thirsty. Like, you know, if a chick flaked on me, that would like ruin my evening or something like that.
Yeah.
Bro, do you denounce the red pill idea that all women are like that, but you apply their same concept in your texting? Your texting revolves around understanding female psychology as a whole. So yes, I heavily denounce the red pill idea that all women are like that, because people are different. That's like saying all men are like that. Like that's like saying all men are rapists because some guys rape chicks. It's total nonsense. Like all women are, you know, not to be trusted and they will fuck you over. No, some chicks will, and some chicks are really good. Like so, I think the big mistake the red pill community makes, one of them, is that they had some bad experience in their past, and they just assume that because of a few bad experiences in their own lives, that the problem wasn't those girls, but the problem was women in general. But that's like no different than a guy who has a bad experience with someone who's African American, and then assuming that all black people are like that. Like that's the same exact shit. Just because
it's classic case of projection.
Sorry, what did you say?
It's a classic case of projection, bro. That's a defense mechanism that we have, where one experience we feel everyone's the same. And that's the same thing we see in the feminist culture, we see in incel culture, red pill culture, racism, I think everything, bro.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. So the second part of your texting revolves, but you apply the same concept in your texting. I wouldn't say that I'm trying to better understand the question. If you're assuming that that all women are like DTF, do I kind of have that mindset? Well, yes and no. Like I do try to think more or less that every chick is going to be down to fuck me, right? Until proven otherwise. So sometimes, you know, like I'm proven otherwise, and the girl's actually conservative and stuff like that. And I do try to make but here the thing is that I'm pretty good at reading people because I've been doing this for a long time. So like I can make a pretty good judgment call based on the girl's profile and our first set of messages, just how like prude she is and just how like DTF she is. Am I always right? No. There's been several times where I've been proven wrong. I've been like surprised where I thought a chick was really DTF, she turned out to be prude, and one chick, right, you know, some chicks who I thought were going to be a little bit more on the shy side, and they turned out to be like massive, you know, DTF, you know, thoughts, right? Yeah, I say that word with love. So, but yeah, I generally try to read women, but I think for the average guy who's just getting into game, like they're not going to be good at reading chicks. So for them, it is a good idea to assume that all chicks are going to be DTF, right? It's a good thing to have when you're just getting into game. It's better than assuming that all girls, you know, are prude princesses that you have to go on 5 dates with, right? So, yeah. How do you handle juggling all those hookups? How do you frame the situation so you can hit them up whenever? What's your take on this, sir?
I think now I don't have the time to juggle hookups, bro. I mean, I'm not doing rotations anymore, I think. Or it's just like you just text normally. I don't think anything, bro. Like if I hooked up with a girl and I text her next week, she's usually down to meet. So I don't think there's any effort out there. Is there a problem? Like what's the issue out here? Like let's say I hook up with like 5 girls. He's saying that they won't meet you again.
No, it's more of like how do you handle like having, for example, if you're seeing like 2 or 3 girls that you're hooking up with, how do you coordinate it, and how do you like make that happen without becoming overwhelmed, or maybe like whatever, just like fucking shit up?
Oh yeah, like meet her once a week at max. That's it. And usually if you're hooking up, the frame is already set. So how do you? Oh yeah, that's what he's asking. How do you frame the situation so you can hit them up whenever? You don't talk about deep level stuff. You don't talk about your. You don't tell how you were molested or how you were beaten up by your dad. You don't get into the intimate discussion. Then you keep it very surface level and you keep it sexual, and you hold back the intimacy so that the frame is clear that you're here looking for a more casual stuff rather than going deeper with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say also this is what I see commonly. So a guy hooks up with a girl and he's like, yeah, I really want to make her my booty call. She's going to be a good booty call. And then he starts taking her on these dinner dates and starts like doing date-like activities. And then the chick is like, eventually she's like, so are we like dating now? And the guy goes into playing with fire. I was like, I don't understand. I thought I made it clear that I just want to hook up. and she thinks we're dating, or she wants more. But the reason is
Yeah.
because you did a bunch of date-like activities, right? Like
Exactly.
me, I invite chicks over straight to my place to play with my dog and to fuck and to give me massages, right? So it's like they're not going to assume that I want to date them. Like almost never does it happen to me, like nowadays in the past 3-4 years, that chick, when there's that miscommunication. No chick who hooks up with me thinks Alex is a guy that's going to want to date me, right? Like they never think that. They know that, okay, Alex is a fun guy. I can fuck with him, I can hang out with him. But, if I want a serious relationship, I need to look elsewhere. And a lot of chicks are really cool with that. Like, numerous girls who like that. They're like, okay, I get a lot out of this. I would say the big thing is just make sure, like, you should, like, the girl should be getting something out of this as well, whether that's great sex. Like, if you're having a booty call, but she never comes, that's an issue, right? So, like, she's getting great sex. Yeah, she's getting, good companionship. Like, you're interesting to be around. You're not just like, just fucking her and then you're just like
good emotions around.
So yeah, like generally, with my booty calls, I also like, I don't know, like I will do occasionally some like I just took a trip to across the state, like a 3.5 hour trip. Like I brought my booty call along. Like we just had a nice drive, we laughed and shit. Like whatever. Like I will do some stuff like that. So that's okay. It's not like you can ever like do any activities with them. Like I'll do activity shits with my booty calls, but it's not, I'm not like trying to date them. It's pretty clear to them that I'm not trying to date them. So basically, you don't want to give chicks mixed signals. That's kind of what I'm trying to get at.
That's true. Also, there's like one more thing, which like, let me know if you've experienced this yourself. So whenever you're hooking up with someone, or whenever you've got a girl in your rotation, or like you've got a booty call, it's not going to last forever. Like people try to make it last forever. In my experience, I think it lasts 2 to 3 months. That's it. And you've got to have a great, great game where you're getting more girls you're hooking up with, because your previous ones are going to leave. That's what I've seen. And now the thing is, either what happens, if you're a great guy, she's going to try and get you in a relationship after a couple of months, or she's going to find someone else who will be in a relationship with her. That's what's happened like almost every time. And very rarely has a girl ever been like, all right, let's just keep hooking up for like years now.
I think that's a cultural thing. I think that's probably prevalent in India, but like in the US here, like that doesn't happen to me. Like I'll see my booty calls for years, like Yeah. So it's, and they never try to pressure me into something more. Does it happen sometimes? Yeah.
They do or they don't. They do pressure you.
They do, but not like less than half the time. Like a lot of chicks are cool with having a booty call type of dynamic for like indefinitely, really. Last forever. No, I mean at some point they're going to get married, but for me it's definitely longer than a few months.
For sure, yeah.
All right, let's jump to the next question. Oh, damn, these questions are stacking up. All right, so best advice to someone who has anxiety about stepping out of their comfort zone. Well, you have to realize that you have anxiety about stepping out of your comfort zone because you're a human being, because that's the word comfort zone. You're comfortable in it. I have anxiety stepping outside of my comfort zone. Anyone does. If you like how you don't feel emotions if you don't have anxiety, go outside your comfort zone. So first of all, you have to realize that what you're experiencing is normal. Like, okay, like I'll try to give an example. My comfort zone would be like, I'm really good chatting up chicks who are walking by themselves, chicks who are, maybe with a friend, whatever, in those situations. But talking to a girl who's with her parents, I've done it a million times, but it's still a little bit outside my comfort zone, right? Like, so that's going to be a situation that's going to make me a little bit more anxious than just talking randomly to chick, right? Well, so I feel that anxiety, I just acknowledge it, and I just fucking do what I want to do anyway, right? So, you're gonna feel anxiety like throughout your life. You just have to not let it dictate what you do, right? You have to get to a point where you just acknowledge your anxiety and just like, okay, this is what I feel. I'm just gonna do, take right action anyway. What do you think about that?
Yeah, man. I mean, you just gotta do it, bro. Sometimes, like, I mean, which is I asked you to take it because I know it's really basic. So you just gotta do it, man. Sometime you can't just keep on waiting. Like, I mean, if you want something, how many choices do you have?
You gotta do it. I mean, there's really no way. And you have to. And the cool thing is that as you step out of your comfort zone expands, right?
Expands, yeah.
Zone now is 100 times wider than my comfort zone when I was 22, right? Back in those days, just also there's yourself would make me anxious.
Yeah, there's like a micro and macro aspect as well. So like, let's say you wake up in the morning, you go to the club, your first approach is going to be here. But then as you do a first approach, it expands. Yeah. So this is like on a micro level every night you can do. And then on a macro level, like as you said, from the age of 22 to like, how old are you now? 28?
A 30.
30. All right, great.
Oh
So
man, my best days are behind me.
yeah. Do you want to choose questions or you want to take every question?
No, let's choose question. Do you see the
Let's
question?
filter some out, all right, which are like related to what we are talking about. Let's filter them out
Do
and
you
let's
want
choose
to
those.
choose the next few questions?
What?
Are you able to choose questions on your end?
I'm not able to choose questions. I'm just able to see.
All right, let me try to pick some of the better
Yeah,
ones.
yeah.
This is actually one common complaint I get among my view. Well, not complaint, but guys will be like, Alex, you answer every fucking question. Like, just pick out the
Yeah.
good questions. So actually,
Yeah. Let's filter them out, bro.
that's something I should get bad.
Yeah.
Okay, let's crack into this question. You said to only compliment girls on their style. Does that mean I should never call my girlfriend beautiful, pretty, gorgeous? No.
This is you.
Oh, I guess no. I call girls who I'm seeing hot, beautiful, pretty, gorgeous all the time. I'm like, babe, you look extra fucking sexy tonight. Like, nothing wrong with that. I don't know where this misconception in the pickup community came that you can never compliment women. What you don't want to do is you don't want to supplicate. You don't want to be like, oh my God, you're so pretty, like where you're putting her above you. That's what you don't want to do. But if it's a genuine compliment, there's nothing wrong with that, like at all.
Yeah. But anyway, when you're dating, you want to be nice to the girl. So this idea of buying drinks, one thing, it's cultural, all right? So I noticed in India, I would never buy drinks for anybody. In India, girls always split, all right? Anytime I've been on a date with a girl, there have been times where girls have fought with me to pay for the drinks, all right? So this concept that never buy drinks, that's what I used to follow. But when I went to Thailand, I met girls out there. Like I met, whatever. I met some ethnicity girls, Europeans and stuff. They expect you to buy drinks. And in the starting, I did not. But then once I did, they were all fine with it because I think it's just a cultural thing as well.
Yeah,
so, and yeah, also now when I go out with like my friends or any girl who I'm friends with or who I'm dating or seeing for a long time, I want to pick up the check every once in a while. I want to be like, dude, it's on me.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you're definitely right. It's a big cultural thing. Like, you go to Eastern Europe, like my homeland, Russia. If you don't buy a girl a drink, she's gonna think that you're a loser, right? Like, that's versus in the US, it's a little bit more like, everyone kind of does their own thing. But like, Russia, that's like no girl is gonna be like, oh, he made me buy my own drinks, like, and I like him. Like, that says no Russian girl ever. All right, so we got a question for you.
Oh yeah, let's go. Iron Man. I'm in the US. All right, you want to read it?
And almost got with an Indian girl. I could tell she liked me because she didn't want to do anything because she's conservative. But is conservatism an issue you run into a lot?
It depends on the girl, bro. See, I'm here in Delhi, and as we've been talking about, it's fairly frequent for you to meet a girl the same night and then hook up the same night. But if this is the problem, and so I don't go in with the same intention that every time I meet a girl, I'm gonna have sex with her. All right. So you want to play it as how you're like, you want to play your cards the way they're dealt, not the way that you want to pull each and every girl. You can have that in the back of your mind, but when you meet someone like this who's not comfortable hooking up with you and she's conservative, what you can do is you can like make out, and not even like go with full-fledged make out. You can just get like a kiss close. You can just kiss, get the number, set up a day 2, and then pull on the day 2. That's going to be much, much better than you trying to get the sex every time. Because anytime I see people trying to get the close on the day 2 or the same night where the girl is not into it, it's more of an ego thing. It's more like, I'm this pickup guy, I need to get the girl. So in the end, what you do is you make the girl feel weird about it, and then you lose the girl. And even if you do get the pull, she's gonna have buyer's remorse and you might not get the close. She might come home with you, but nothing's gonna happen. So you don't want to do that. You want to be sure that what are you going for? Do you want the girl or do you want the pull that same night? So if you want the girl, you got to take it easy and see how the girl is. Like, not all girls are the same, which we just spoke about.
Yeah, I like what you said, because I do also agree that same day and same night lays are highly overrated.
Yes.
Like, in the community, there's an obsession with same day lays. But from day game, like, most chicks are doing shit when you run into them. Like, even if they want to fuck, like, does that happen? Yes. Has it happened to me dozens of times? Yes. Is it what happens to me most of the time? No. Like, most of the time, I get the girl's number, we have a good combo, it's not a lot of sexual tension, I get her out on a date, and that's when I take her. Right? It's not like, and I think a lot of guys have this all or nothing mindset. Like, if I can't get the same day late, there's no point even getting the number. Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding me? Like, this chick likes you, she just has work and can't fucking fuck off at 5 p.m. and go and fuck you.
It's more of an identity thing. It's more of tying your own self-worth with like, I'm a great pickup artist, so then I'm a great human being, I'm a great person. So your self-worth gets tied with it, with your same day lays. And secondly, it's about a lack of empathy as well. You're like, I want what I want and I want it yesterday. So you gotta have like some empathy for other people as well. She might like, she'd be into you, but she might not want to have sex the same day. She might want to know you more, because for girls it's so easy. Bro, now I'm at that point where I don't want to pull the first time I meet a girl, because sex is plenty, and I'm kind of just like, how much sex am I gonna fucking do? Like now I want to like get to know the girl. Yeah.
I'm still trying to push those boundaries. I'm like, yeah, my dick.
I mean, I'm almost like, I mean, yeah, I've had enough. I wanna meet quality girls. I wanna spend some time, and then the sex is gonna happen eventually. And that's what. Yeah.
No, I was gonna say, what do you think about insta-dates?
Oh, insta-date's amazing. If it's day game, yeah, for sure, bro. Like, you've got to insta-date every time, bro. Like, I feel so. I insta-date, and I tell my clients every time, as soon as you hook the set, start going for an insta-date. Like bounce, move, anything. Just like move to the side, move somewhere else, go for an insta-date, because that really does lock it in. And then after that, once you can insta-date, you can take it to the pull as well if it's happening. If it's not happening, you can have an amazing insta-date and then meet the girl later on. So right now, even in lockdown, I went out for day game and I insta-dated this girl. She was great. Yeah, she used to teach. She teaches yoga and stuff, and we were chilling, talking and stuff. It was great. Nothing wasn't anything sexual.
Definitely. So I think you agree on a lot of shit. That's one thing I definitely disagree with. So I actually think
with insta-date
are highly overrated. I almost never do insta-dates, and I'll give my reasoning. So when I got to pick up, I used to also think insta-dates were great, and I would try to do insta-dates. What I found is that, say I meet a girl. Okay, let's say I meet a girl. We chat for 5 minutes. I get her number. Let's say that 50% of the time she's going to text me back. If I go on Insta-date and I spend an hour with her, that number goes from 50 to maybe 75, right? I don't even think it's that high. I think it probably goes to 65. But let's play devil's advocate, say it goes to 75. During that hour, I could have met 5 other chicks, and 5 chicks with a 50% success rate is much better than 1 chick with a 75% success rate. So I just think it's highly inefficient. My other issue with it, I feel like it can kill some sexual tension, because if you're going on an Insta-date, of course you can pull from the Insta-date, but like, maybe like girls will not fuck you for random reasons. Like if she wasn't expecting to get laid and she didn't like shave her vagina, like that's a deal breaker for some chicks. Like they be like prepared. Like she feels dirty because she hasn't showered. Like you're kind of catching her off guard, and she might legitimately like she like you, but she doesn't want to fuck you for like those random reasons, right? So versus when you're going on a planned date, the girl prepares for it, right? So she's prepared for sex. So like all these objections you might get Insta-date, you won't get. I feel like with an Insta-date, like you're still going on a date, so the girl might like, it almost kills some of the mystery, right? So then she might be like, that date is statistically unlikely to lead to sex, but then is it gonna really increase your likelihood of getting that second date that could lead to sex? So lately, my philosophy has just been, I go up to a girl, I try to hook her as much as possible, build sexual tension, and I say, hey, listen, we should grab drinks sometimes. The girl's like, yeah, get her number, and then really 3, 4, 5 minute interaction, like sometimes 10, 20. Usually it's pretty like 5 minutes. I found those numbers to be pretty solid. Like like 1.5, 3 of them, I get out on a date or something like that. So that's kind of been my take. But I think also, if Insta-dates might be a little bit better if you're new to the country and just traveling and you have nothing to do all day, versus like if you have an hour, right? I just think that hour could be more efficiently spent chatting up a bunch of girls and getting a bunch of numbers rather than focus on one girl.
True, like could be possible. I usually like for a number, I think 7 to 10 minutes is the time that at least I've seen it takes to get like a solid number. Anything less than that, it's not enough. So if I can get 7 to 10 minutes, and I might, so if I get 7 to 10 minutes, and if I have a chance of pulling, I might Insta-date. But if there's no chance of pulling, or if there's like I've got to be on a what do you call if I'm on boot camp, then of course like I'm not gonna Insta-date. But like if I'm gaming alone, I think I'll go for that Insta-date, because
I think the one exception is if I sense there's a high likelihood of pulling that day, then yes, Insta-date is the way to go, because it's kind of hard to go from day game conversation 5 minutes to straight to your point. Then at that point, the Insta-date is the logical step.
I'll try it out, man. I'll try out this stuff as well. I like, see how many interactions turn into an Insta-date and then I close, or how many do I get numbers and then I close.
For sure, man.
Just test.
What's the biggest misconception men have about closing Indian women?
Yeah, that they're not fucking sexual. That's the biggest misconception, that they're not sexual and they're not gonna like it, bro. I mean, so if you're Indian and you've gone out, there's this. I mean, Indian women have white fetish, or like anybody who's abroad who's not
Ooh.
Indian. All right, yeah. So you're white, you're Caucasian, you're European, you're Hispanic, you're black. Dude, they're into it. All right, because here, like, yeah, like if any Indian guy comes to any American or any white guy comes to India, it's going to be so easy for him to meet girls out here, like, because women are going to be like, oh my god, white guy, and like, it's exotic out here, right? So even when Indian women are outside and anybody wants to talk to Indian women, it's going to be super easy, man. And they're out of the clutches of the fucking judgmental society, and they're in a fucking Western country. So they want to go out there, they want to fucking explore and stuff. And there's no judgment. They don't have their family and everything out there. So I think it's going to be crazy. I've got enough of my friends as well who've been abroad, like girls. All right. So in Ireland and UK and US and everything, and they've been pretty much like I talk to them about stuff, like, so they feel that, so one of the girls I was talking to, she feels that the white guys aren't into Indian girls, like they're fine hooking up with them, but they wouldn't want to commit. So that's what she feels. That's something she said. She's like, yeah, they're gonna like waste my time and stuff, because she's like, I've hooked up with enough guys. But like, reading between the lines, she hooked up with enough guys. So if it's about the hookup, she's hooked up with enough guys.
So got enough white cock inside of her.
Yeah.
She knows what's up. So basically, the biggest misconception is that Indian women are not sexual, which is total nonsense.
Yeah. Also about Indian men, one thing, people. So this is first-hand experience. People feel that Indian men aren't very good looking or whatever. All right, maybe not. But when I was in,
there's such different varieties of Indian, ethnicities, and like you have like the Arab Indian guys, like it's like insane. Like Indian guys.
That's what I was getting to. That's what I was getting to. So when I was in Thailand, I've had so many Israeli girls come up to me and start talking in Hebrew. And I'm just like, shalom, motherfucker. Like, what the fuck? Because they think I'm Israeli. So anytime
I can see that, dude. I can definitely see that, man. Now that
sure. People have called me Turkish, Israeli. People have called me Egyptian. And then some people, when I talk to, because of my English, they think I am from England. Because they can never guess that, because they think the Indian accent is going to be like, people don't know how to talk in English in India. So I get all these different things, and I'm just like, I think Indian men just play themselves so small and so down there. Like, I mean, fucking shit, dude.
So you're basically saying that there's a lot of like these weird hang-ups and insecurities that Indian men have.
For sure, bro, for sure. Because whenever I'm in Thailand or whatever, I don't. So, I mean, are you into Asian women? Like the Thais?
Not so much. Like, I prefer Latinas, honestly. Latinas are like, mainly big booty Latinas.
Yeah. So I prefer like Europeans or like Americans. Latinas are great, Canadians, but like Caucasian women, right? So when I travel to Thailand and everything, I am not talking to Indians and I am not talking to Asians out there. I'm like, that's not my thing. Europeans and stuff I want to talk to. And mostly I see Indian men and other people that I meet out there, they don't talk to white girls and they don't talk to Caucasians and Latinos and Spanish and Israelis, because they feel that they're lesser than them. So they don't even go for the approach. And I'm like, dude, I'm out here. Why the fuck would I not go for that? Like, why the fuck did I spend so much time learning pickup so that I can just go for like the lowest hanging fruit every time? Which is also not the lowest hanging fruit, but it's our perception that it is the lowest hanging fruit.
Right. Yeah, kind of what you're saying. Definitely, like, I've definitely seen that just from doing coaching for so long. Why do you think that is? Like, why do you think like a lot of Indian guys have this like low self-esteem about themselves? Like, what's the cause of that? Because I have seen what you're describing. I've seen time and time again.
Yeah. Bro, firstly, it's the culture, and then the parenting has been very difficult. So I've gotten into childhood trauma, developmental trauma, and parenting, doing my certification as well in traumatic stress studies. So that's true. And because of that, when you haven't had your needs met, when you haven't had enough love growing up, so you don't feel that you're good enough to deserve love, and you're not good enough to deserve anything in life. So when you see stuff and you stack your options and you combine that with the social conditioning that white people are not going to like Indian guys, they're going to be racist against us, and girls are not going to like us. And when we compare ourselves to like other good looking guys, or like, let's say, people who have like abs and they're built and stuff, you kind of reject yourself first. And this goes in combination with these two things: the social conditioning and the childhood trauma and stuff, our needs not being met when we're growing up. So it leads to low self-worth, low self-esteem, and with everything in life. Like, if you take money, Indian guys, it's very difficult for any Indian guy to be an entrepreneur, because they're like, we just want a job, we want to get into tech, we want to get into tech. Because while growing up, we've been taught that, the people who go into business are different breed. Like, specifically the middle class, which is like 80% of at least the cities that we grow up in.
There's so much red tape in India when it comes to starting a business. Like, there's so much.
Because the mindset of like money doesn't grow on trees, and the people who have businesses are a different breed. That's what the parents say all the time. And I wasn't encouraged because I've been a science kid. My parents wanted me to go for engineering and a lot of things. I was a smart kid, but that wasn't something that I wanted to do. So I was like, I'll figure it out. Like, fuck that shit. I don't want to do it. But yeah, that's there. So it's always like, whenever your options are stacked, you're always going for the safer bet.
Right.
That's what I've seen. And I think there's the colonial hangover, as you call it, because we've been enslaved by the whites for 300 years. Now we feel that the whites are superior to us. So it's like a genetic thing as well. Like, it's been passed on and stuff, and it's subconscious. But it's just like, you just need to go out and you just need to fucking practice it so that you can give yourself those references that it's not like that.
One interesting thing, I have a buddy who lives in Mumbai. He's a bodybuilder, and he was telling me, this is kind of completely random and unrelated, but he was telling me that the reason a lot of Indian guys are, kind of skinny, whatever, aren't jacked, is because the Indian diet, like, severely lacks in protein. Like, Indian food is just like heavy on carbs, rice, and like whatever, but like there's only like a little bit of chicken, right? So like that, Indian, and you guys don't really eat beef over there, like, or at least most people don't.
Yeah, the beef is banned out here. It's a religious thing.
It's banned?
It's banned, yeah. Because I'm Hindu, right? In Hindus, cows are sacred. So beef got banned, I think, 5-6 years back. Before that, we used to have beef and beef burgers.
I wouldn't be able to find any beef?
No, it's banned, bro. Like, I mean, it's...
I did not know that.
Yeah, beef is banned in it.
That's crazy, dude. That's so extreme. But the point he was trying to make is that the Indian diet, like, severely lacks in protein, which is necessary for you to, first of all, feel good as a man, because that's, and they also have muscle. So he was also making the argument that part of the issue is actually the diet, which kind of makes sense to me.
True. Yeah.
All right, next question. Give us some good gaming books.
Oh my God.
I talked about this earlier.
There are no good gaming books. There are only gaming videos or gaming experiences that you get in the field.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I mean, I think that reading Neil Strauss's The Game is good for like motivation, but it's not. It's like, you're not gonna learn techniques from there. I think you are gonna learn from watching guys like me and guys like you, just watching like content like that. Yeah. I think there's a lot of good books that indirectly can help your game. Like, a book I like is called The Compound Effect, right? It talks about how small actions in your life can stack up to make a big difference. When you read that, you're like, okay, shit, like, that stuff I thought that doesn't matter, like doing that one extra approach a day actually makes a big difference, me getting an hour of sleep or meditating for 10 minutes, that's actually going to add up in the span of a year to make a big difference. There's a book like that. The Rise of Superman by Stephen Cutler. That's a great book about flow states. So, when they say, get into state, there's actually a scientific explanation behind state, and it's been studied and, whatever. So I think that's a very interesting book. Another one is, what's it called? It was about, The Winner Effect by Ian Robertson. So that's very interesting. It talks about how, like, when you win, it basically changes your biochemistry. So that's also very interesting. It made me very conscious of how I set my goals so that I have a good chance of achieving them. So I think there's a lot of books out there that can indirect your game. But in terms of just pure, technical stuff, like, it's going to be on YouTube, it's going to be articles, it's going to be stuff, products, stuff like that.
I've generally stopped reading a lot of books. I'm like now I'm just trying to seek out the exact information from, if I can get coaches or like people who are doing that thing from them directly or from workshops. I think it's going to be better than just reading books about it. But I think when I was learning, when I wasn't secure financially, then I would seek out more books and stuff.
Makes sense. All right. So this question is for you. How do you go sexual when you open?
It's more in the non-verbal. So usually we're considering night game out here because that's when I'd go more sexual. So the first thing is if we're on the dance floor, the hand of God is the basic open. It's going to work 50% of the times. All right. You tap a girl, you give her your hand, she takes your hand, and you do the spin move. It's going to work 50% of the time. After that, if it doesn't work, she doesn't take your hand, then you can go in and you can start talking and you can start to free associate and talk about stuff and flirt and shit. So, a couple of things to be sexual is going in with great proximity. Like, you've got to firstly, like, look at her, have eye contact, and then go in. Sexuality is one thing. Like, I think with the touching is the main thing. So with proximity is like whenever I'm talking to a girl in the night time. So let's say I give her a hand of God. I give her the hand. She takes my hand, spin her around. She comes close. Then my hand goes directly to her waist. And it's anyway quite sexual right there. And she's this close to me. And we're sort of like, so let's say this is the girl. I'm going to be like, my mouth is going to be right near her ear out here. And I'm going to talk to her like this. And I'm going to just like sway slowly. And I'm just going to keep talking, then come back, look at her face. So there's a couple of things which are going out there, which is why I like Night Game. It combines everything. There's kino escalation going on. There's eye contact when you're not talking to her. Then there's a lot of intent out there. Then you're dancing at the same time. And you're escalating as well. So I think it's a lot of things. So sexuality, basically, like summarizing it, we're going all over the place. Proximity, touch, being comfortable with the touch, and understanding the language of touch. Because with touch, if you're too brash with it, it's gonna not work. If you're too weak with it, it's gonna come off as weak. So you've got to have that sweet spot, which is firm but not very hard. Mm-hmm. All right. So I think with touch and the way you're talking, the content needs to be like, if you consider the content, I'm not talking about small talk, like the weather or the stuff that you want to talk in day game. I'm talking about like, I'm going extremely direct. All right. I'm like, you look amazing. What's your name? All right. Are you here because you thought I was going to be here? Like, are you here stalking me? Something like that, misinterpreting. Then I might just, because we're already dancing, I might like lift her up and then place her on the side and she's going to scream and stuff, all that stuff. So it's a very lot of high buying temperature spikes and stuff. And then spin her around, dancing, which is why I like dancing, because you can get sexual easily. You can like body hug and dance that close. So sort of like ballroom dancing, you can do that. And then you can go back, you can come in, and I'm always holding hands. I think that is basically what like sexuality is.
Yeah, I think you summed it up really well. The one thing I would add is also, I think eye contact, like you said, is huge. That's such a huge part of my game.
But then with eye contact, sometimes people just want to make eye contact and they don't go in. So so even when I'm talking to the girl, I'm going to have one hand out here like this. All right. And then I'm going to go in and talk here. I'm going to pull her in, or like, I'm going to be like, come here. And she's going to come. Usually I don't like pull her in. I'm just going to do this. And she's going to come. And I'm going to put my hand there and I'm going to talk in her ears. And because I'm talking in her ears, we're so close. All right. And if we're dancing, we're so close. One thing is you've got to like back off as well, right? You can't be in all the time. You can't be like logged in all the time, like really close. So when I'm dancing with her in the club, I'm like in, and then I'm sort of going away, and then I have eye contact and I've got a louder voice. Then I come in, maybe I make a spin around. We're sort of like grinding, but we're not grinding because I don't want to put my dick out there. It's going to burn the set right at the open, at least in India. I'm not going to do that. But like, I'm going to have that. I'm just going to have the playful thing. Like, even when my hands are there, I'm going to keep doing things like this, or I'm going to put it on the waist, out here, play with her hair over here, maybe like, pull her cheek a little bit, maybe poke her here and there. So it's always like there's some movement going on, basically. It's not static touch. Static touch kills it. Like that's something which doesn't work. And in Night Game, specifically on the dance floor, the things are so quick. You've got to be quick on your game. You've got to be quick. You've got to be very quick. And you've got to be quick to calibrate. You've got to be quick to, all right, I'm doing too much. I'm not supposed to do this. And you need to understand that when you're going to be doing too much, she's going to back off. So you quit doing that thing even before she realizes that it's getting too much. You want to prevent it rather than trying to cure it.
Yeah, that all makes sense. One thing I will add is that you could also, go sexual verbally, right? Like you can do, like you said, proximity is one way to escalate.
Yeah.
Touch is one way to escalate. Like all that stuff. But also you can escalate verbally. Like, I'll start off usually with sexual humor. I think humor allows you to get away with so much stuff. Like the girl was like, it was really hard. I was like, oh, so you graduated from law school? Yeah, it was like really hard, but I did. I was like,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'll be
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
yeah. So do you wear like your sexy little lawyer outfit? Like, yeah, and then you just bam, like take a
Yeah.
boring topic and make it all sexual. What you
Yeah.
don't want to do is you don't want to go like be creepy about it. You want to be like,
Yeah.
you got tight little pussy, something like that, where like the girl's like,
Yeah.
calm the fuck
Yeah.
down.
I want to
I know
keep it.
into that.
Yeah, I want to combine it with humor and do it, and not go into the realms of like the deep dark BDSM stuff or something. Like, even if we're keeping it sexual, I want to keep it a little bit vanilla, even if we're doing sexually. I think that's what she said. It was like amazing to make it sexual, as you said, you pointed out. Another stuff could be like, I mean, just saying. Yeah, so I think I was talking to someone. Tell me this: in night game, do you like usually go direct in night game, or you go indirect and then you transition to direct later on?
My opener for night game is it would usually be like, hey, I'm Alex. Like I don't know if you consider that direct or indirect, but I'm
And that's
flying.
nice. Yeah.
First of all, I'm someone informed that she should meet. I don't need a kind of introduction. Like she should already kind of like, I'm already high value, and like I'm Alex. Like, and I just like strong eye contact. Or sometimes, hey, I'm Alex. You just give her and then, like handshake and kiss on the cheek.
Yeah. True. You can even fuck around with that. So I would, I remember a couple of years back, I would open with literally be like, hi, Don. So Don's basically like an Indian term for mafia, like, the Godfather. So you'd call him Don. So I just go like, hi, Don. And she'd start laughing. She's like, what the fuck is this guy? And I'd go with that, like literally like I'm the mafia or something, with that intent and that groundedness. And it'd be extremely fun after that, because I'd start dancing with them. And it was just like the amount, like, oh my God, did this guy really say that? Like, you can't be like, hi, I'm the Godfather. So something like that.
My theory on directness is kind of like, let's think about it in terms of 3 levels, right? First level is when you show intent at all. So that's like the worst place to be in. I think that once you start learning some game and start like that, then you get to a point where you can show intent. And when you're a beginner, I actually recommend going direct, because most guys can't show intent for shit. So like actually going direct is gonna be good. Like, hey, you're really cute, I want to meet you, right? Is an opener I would recommend for a beginner intermediate. Like me at this point, I actually don't really need to go direct. I can go somewhat indirect and then make it direct very fast, which is usually a more optimal version of game. Not all the time, but usually, especially for night game, it's a little bit better. Like you're at a bar and you go up to a girl like, hey, you're really hot, I'm Alex. Of course that can work, and it probably will work a lot. But
not in India at all. You can't call a girl hot.
Like, I think cute is fine. I would recommend like something like, hey, I would recommend, okay, if I was doing a boot camp, which I will never do for myriad of reasons, but if I was and I had a client and we're at a bar and he was like a beginner who was having a hard time showing intent, I would say, yo, go open girls with, hey, you're really cute, I want to say hi, I want to meet you. That's the open I would give. But if I was myself doing it, I would probably go a little bit more like, I don't know, like a little bit more low key, because it's going to be slightly higher probability. Like I might say like, I might be like, oh, look at, I'm like, we've been standing there for 30 seconds. We might as well meet. Hey, Alex. Like, like we go a little bit more direct, because then I can transition it to direct very fast. But I don't think that's something like the beginner is going to be able to do.
Yeah, like the eye contact. You can just be like, hi, Kshitij. Hi, Alex. And you can just have that smile and that flirty vibe inside you.
Yeah, for sure. Iron Man, how do you approach bigger groups of women? Is it necessary to isolate? Do you ever hang around with them?
All right, so I recently uploaded an infield as well. There was like it was a 6 set. There were like 5-6 guys and 1 girl. So if you want to see mixed set and big groups and stuff, I think that's going to be amazing. But out here, it's as the guy is already pointing out, Xavier. I think that's how you pronounce Xavier, whatever, Xavier. So you just got 2 options. All right, either you can hand of God a girl and isolate, or you enter the group and you talk to everyone. All right, but you still talk to your girl. So it just comes down to a matter of preference at that time. There are times when I just hand of God 1 girl and I bring her out. But here's the most important thing. So if there are 6 girls, there's like a group in a circle. All right, there are 6 girls. Usually how people approach if they want to isolate a girl is they're gonna go onto the other side of the girl, which is closest to the girl, so then no other girl can see. And then you tap her on the shoulder, so she has to turn around. And this is the circle, she has to turn around. And then they try to talk to her. All right. Now that comes off. That might work, but how I like to do it, I want to make it very ballsy. I want to make it like I am the boss, like I've arrived and I'm fine with taking pressure. Like, the man is here. So if it's like 6 people standing here and here's the girl, I'm not going to come from the back. I'm going to come from the front. So when there are 2 girls there, I'm going to separate them, come in, stand in between those 6 girls, and then be like, hi. Kshitij, so that she knows that who the fuck is this guy. And even the girls are going to be like, oh my god, this fucking man is out here or some shit like that, right? So that in and of itself DHVs me instantly. But then you need to know that, you can take that pressure. Yeah, you've got to take that pressure. So I come from the front, I stand, I'm like, hi, Kshitij. Usually the girls are going to start screaming. They're going to start giggling. They're going to be like, oh my God, who's this guy? And another benefit is like, if you come from the back, you tap the girl. For her to reject you, she just have to be like this. She just has to turn around. Now you're done. Now you're body blocked. But if I come from the front,
very good point.
She does not have any time to do that. Plus, I've got eye contact. I can hand of God. I can spin. I can dance. And I'm a great dancer. So if I'm dancing, the girl can be like, oh my God, this dude's dancing amazingly. Like I dip the girl. I pick her up. I spin her around. I'm doing all kinds of fucking Patrick Swayze shit as well. So everyone's like, oh my God, this guy and that instantly DHVs me. So that's one way you could do it. Or now, I would engage the friends only if there's some other friend trying to come in between. All right. And then you got to stand your ground. So let's say I'm talking to a girl and she's happy, but then she's kind of getting away to another friend or another friend's coming in. I'm going to say hi to her as well. I'm going to be like, hi, you're pretty as well. What's your name? How come I didn't see you before? All right. I'm going to be very charming with her friend as well. All right. While at the same time, every time coming back to this girl, or maybe if I'm holding her hand, sort of like coming in between the two friends and talking to her like this, rather than being like, all right, you guys are together and I'm away. So you got to fight for your set as well. You got to fight for your girl, man. It's not that easy, like in night game, and that's what makes it worth it. It's very, what do you call it? It's very thrilling.
Yeah, I want to really specifically point out something you said. How you're talking about the difference between like whether you're from the back or from the front. It may sound like a somewhat trivial difference, but it's actually very important. Because say if a girl's super into you, it's not going to make a difference. But say the girl, she doesn't know you yet, which is, she's not sure. She's kind of into you. You seem interesting, but she's got her friends. If she has to turn around like this and you're behind her, all she has to do is turn away, any kind of lull in the conversation, and you're like severely, at that point you're hard. Versus if you're from the front, she has to engage with you a lot more. Like you can fuck up a lot more from the front. That's why I always for day game, what I like to do.
She's not going to reject you.
What's up?
Because she's not going to reject you because you've DHV'd. Like, how many guys have the balls to come in between? And it's a huge emotional spike. Like, all of the girls are laughing, giggling, and you're not afraid to be seen. Only like you got to be extremely confident, man, for anybody to do that. Like, if I'm with a girl, some other guy comes in and he's opening like that, I'm going to be like, dude, like, you deserve the girl, man. Like, ask her if she wants to go with you. Like, go. I'm not even going to cock block. Like, I'm going to be like, mad respect, bro. Like, you got to have balls to do that. So I don't like
the thing I want to point out.
Yeah. Go on.
The big thing I want to point out is that, for example, with day game, right? If it's a walking set, like I want to stop the girl. Like it may sound somewhat trivial. That can make a big difference in dynamic. If a girl's sitting down, I'm not going to stand over her. I'm going to sit next to her. Like those things.
True.
So I don't want to be like, I don't want to put myself in a situation where she can very easily reject me. Like, like I'm standing, she's sitting. Who's chasing who? I'm walking with her. Who's chasing who? But if we're both stopped, now we're both committed. We're both sitting.
Yeah.
We're both committed. So, and then again with bars, if I'm behind her and she's like talking to me like this, she's not that committed. But if we're looking at each other face to face, we both got some skin in the game. So those things can actually make a huge difference in your overall.
It's a huge thing. It's just that 1% that's gonna make or break your interaction.
For sure. And another thing I want to point out, actually, I want to share a story. So this has been a big thing for me recently. So, you would think that, eventually you get to a point where there's like no more improvements. But one thing I actually started doing the past few months that's actually given me, noticeably more results from day game is, so I used to, like when I used to do, walk around my dog or whatever, I used to be running errands. I would generally avoid girls in groups. And I would just, bars, I don't give a shit. But for day game, I would generally approach girls who are by themselves, right? So that was my thing. Like, could I approach a girl with a group? Sure, I've done it 100 times, but generally I was just kind of biased towards just looking for girls by themselves. A few months ago, I was just like, you know what, who gives a shit or something. I think I was teaching my roommate how to do cold approach, and I just need to get more sets in. So I was like, okay, whatever, fuck it. Like, so I started, day game approaching girls who were in groups, and like that made a big difference because it allowed me, because most chicks are not by themselves, so that just significantly increased my volume, right? So I could just go like yesterday I was walking to a party, right? On the way there, chick with her mom, open them, fucking get the chick's number in front of the mom, sweet talk the mom loves me, the chick loves me, like we have a date set up for Saturday. Walking further, see a girl with her friend, right? They're like kind of walking around trying to find a place, open them both, kind of focus on the girl, get her number. So it's just like just limiting yourself, not letting the fact that it's a group stop you. Like my ex-girlfriend, you know, the last girl I dated, it was at a bar. She was with 10 fucking people that day, right? Like, I just was like, hey, what's up? Open her. Bam. Took her 5 minutes. And then I'm like, hey, I want you to meet my mom. She's like, what? I'm like, yeah. And then isolate her. And then like, bam. I'm like, I'm just kidding. There's no mom, but let's chat.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
This is Miami?
Yeah, this is Miami. I haven't left Miami in like 2 years now.
Yeah. I'm going to do, like, whenever I'm in the States, bro, Miami's going to happen for sure.
Yeah, dude, hit me up. Have you ever been in the US?
Nah, man, my fucking visa, man. I was gonna come in 2018, but then that was the first time I was traveling abroad, and it's very difficult for Indians to get visas.
It's tricky, right, with visas.
To the States, yeah. But now I think everything's fine. Once it opens up, it's gonna be easier for me to get there.
Yeah, man, definitely hit me up if you're in Miami.
For sure, bro.
Indian girl I have approached night games seem quite bratty. What's your experience?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it must be a Delhi girl, bro. Like, she's gonna be bratty. Just stand your ground, give her a couple of pushes, and yeah, man, be sexual. Like, bratty is basically like her having a lot of attitude and stuff, right? Not talking to you instantly. So yeah, I mean, you gotta have humor, bro. I think humor is gonna crack. Banter, the stuff we've been talking about, just banter with her, bro. Like, don't even try to get a name. Like, any form of neediness is gonna break at that time. It's gonna fuck up the set. So something as little as, you know, what's your name? Even like when you already seen her be bratty and you ask her name, that's still needed. Like, why the fuck would she tell you her name if she doesn't even want to talk to you? So try and just avoid that itself and just banter, bro. Like, that's it. Banter, stand your ground. She's gonna crack within the first couple of minutes.
Yeah, I find that with bratty chicks, there's several ways you can just completely kill your chance with a bratty chick. First is if you get reactive, right? So she's being bratty, and then you start getting confrontational. Why are you acting like this?
Yeah. Be nice. Yeah.
Any kind of reactiveness, right? So what bratty chicks want, what you need to do is just be very unaffected. Like, you know, like if a 3-year-old kid is being annoying, you wouldn't like, why are you doing this? You just be like, look at him, he's so cute. Behave. Like,
you treat the 3-year-old kid like it's Scrappy Doo. It's like, oh my god, puppy power, so cute. All right, you treat him like that.
My dog misbehaves. I don't like try to sit him down, have logical discussions. I'm like, Rhaegar, I'm being a little fucking shithead. Like, you know, it's almost like that. So that's kind of the, you know, almost the attitude you need to bring to the table. And the second thing I would say is just starting to get too logical with her. So like, you know, she's like, I'm not trying to meet any guys tonight. You're like, oh, well, do you not like men or something like that? Like, that's the wrong approach. The right way is just to be like, funny, I guess we have that common. I'm not trying to meet any guys.
Or you could just be like just have fun. She says, I'm not trying to meet any guys tonight. So you could be like, even I'm not trying to meet any guys tonight. I've sucked so much dick in the past week. I'm done with it. All right. So anything, like, you know, it depends. And then if if that doesn't crack her up, I don't know what the fuck will crack her up, bro. If she's really uptight, then I mean, and the last thing, you can't really do anything. You just be like, fuck it.
Yeah. Man, we've gone for let's answer a few more questions then, because we're going almost on 2 hours now. What
happens every time with me, bro.
What percent of first dates straight to your place would you say you close? What's a good percentage for an intermediate to aim for? For me, I would say like 80-90%, something like that. Like, probably, it depends on how hard I scream, but something, it's well more than 3 out of 4. Like, something more like, I don't know, 4 out of 5 or something like that. What's a good percentage for an intermediate to aim for? I don't know, 2 out of 3 maybe, 50% at least. 50%. You know, if it's coming straight to your place, chances are she's DTF. I mean, are there exceptions to this? Of course. But if you're finding that you have a lot of chicks coming over and you're not banging them, like you're banging 1 out of 4 chicks are coming straight to your place, then there's something off about your game. But like, if you have the occasional girl who comes straight over and you don't fuck her, like, it doesn't necessarily mean something's off about your game. That just could be like a one-off.
Yeah. You're supposed to technically close every girl that's at your place.
Yeah, I would say, but there's sometimes that you get like the weird one-off cases, like you get like or especially I found this with the Corona. That's actually increased a little bit because So I'll give the explanation. So, you know, like in the past, right, when before bars were closed, right? So a chick who was more prude, she'd just be like, let's meet at a bar, right? Or I don't go straight to a guy's house, right? She would tell you that. But now when there's no other options, so you might get the chick who under normal circumstances would not come straight to a guy's house, who will come over. And while that is good in a lot of ways, it can also be that you're adding girls to your, let's say, pool who are a lot more on the rude side, who normally would not be there in that situation. So like expect to have a lot more girls come straight over, but also be prepared for like a few, weird rejections here and there. And like that's okay. It's not a fucking big deal.
Yeah. This one time I got a girl home. She's like, "Can you press my hand?" She literally wanted me to like press her hand and massage her hand. So you get those kind of weird cases as well. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening, yo?
Yeah, you get like weird. Like I've had some weird. There's been some times where like the chick comes straight over, and I decide I don't want to fuck her. Like I'm just like, like what the fuck is she on? Like, dude, one chick came over and she just starts weighing out weed on my like fucking table. I don't give a shit. Like I'll smoke weed occasionally, but she had like a fucking pound of weed and she's like weighing it out. I'm like, yo, can you not do your fucking drug deals like in my apartment? Like we just met. Like you really think this is how you make a good first impression? Like what if I was a cop? Like how retarded are you? Like, she walks out, fucking starts weighing shit out. She's got like pills and shit. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I don't really want to fuck with this chick. Okay. I want to end it off on like a sod question.
Yeah.
What's your approach? I'm
just pointing something out. There's someone saying going direct won't work in India. Bro, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah, there's a lot of limiting mindsets guys have.
Yeah. Anyone saying that going direct won't work in India, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Watch any of my infields. I've got shit tons of infields on my channel.
Yeah, we're gonna link everything in the description below so guys can check out your shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we can tag it right in the title as well that I was telling you.
Perfect.
Also guys, in the afternoon, like in the next 6 hours, we're gonna have Alex on my channel.
Yeah, definitely check that out.
We're gonna talk a lot of online dating and everything out there.
We're gonna experience my awesome Hindi text game. You guys are gonna see me chat chicks in Hindi and Urdu and Marathi and like all the fucking languages exist.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? Whenever I like meet an Indian person, I like, oh yeah, like which language do you speak? Do you speak like Marathi? Do you speak Hindi? They was like, wait, there's more than one language there? I'm like, yeah, you guys have like a fucking 100 languages, and they're like, a white guy who knows. Like they just all because they're so used to people thinking like, oh, do you speak Indian? Like versus there's like a million languages there. Yeah, I have a random question.
That's how you get Indian girls.
When you open girls at bars, do you open them in Hindi or in English?
In English, bro. Every time English. I don't recommend. So I might transition from English to Hindi later on, depending on the vibe, and sort of not even purely Hindi, like English. In India, it's a status. It's a status thing. All right. So if you open in Hindi, you're gonna DLV. It's a demonstration of lower value. So in the starting, you need to open in English because that shows that you know how to talk in English, and then later on you can transition into Hindi. So first couple of lines, I'm gonna go in English every time, so that I don't come across as what do you call, as like a ghetto guy or someone who's like gavar, like I don't know what, like someone who's uneducated and like who's like from like a low whatever. I don't know how you say it in English.
Yeah,
but gavar
it's definitely a cultural thing because if I was in Russia, I would open in Russian. Like in Russia, it's not like that. Like but yeah, I think it's definitely like a cultural thing. But it's interesting because I actually assumed that you would just open in Hindi, right? Because that's like
attractive girls I'd open in English every time. I open in Hindi, I'm gonna have much difficult time. But then there are some places here like if the girls aren't from like a good background, they're not as hot, they don't know how to talk in English. So when I open in English, they can't understand, and that's great because I don't want to talk to those kind of girls because they're not. Neither are they attractive, neither are they my type. So usually you want to switch up between the two. If we're talking about the cream of the crowd, you don't go in Hindi.
Gotcha. Makes sense. All right, so let's end off on this question. How to you forgot smoothly, but how to smoothly transition from indirect openers to man to woman frame? So you want to take a crack at it first?
Yeah, so it depends what indirect opener you're going for. If it's like hi, where's Starbucks? It's going to be fairly difficult to transition into a man to woman frame. Or even like, who lies more, man or woman? Although you can make that work. I remember last week I went, like I was out with a guy and I just opened to girls. I'm like, hey guys, excuse me. Like, I was here with a friend and I had a question, so my friend out here, he's a sexist. So my friend goes like, what the fuck? And I'm like, what do you think? Who lies more? Like men lie more, women lie more. And she goes like, men lie more. And then I'm like, so you're a sexist, you hate men. All right. So it's more about, so first thing is like, choose like a better opener. I think an opinion opener or a situational opener, anything better than where is Starbucks is a decent indirect opener. Then in that, even though your verbals can be indirect, your vibe and your sub communication can still be direct. You can smile and you can look at the girl. You can be like, "Hi, excuse me. So, what do you like more? Do you like Harry Potter more, or do you like Lord of the Rings more? What do you like more?" So if I open like that, she knows there's something going on out there, all right? And mostly anytime I talk to anyone like this, I see people smiling. If someone is smiling, like when I'm smiling like this, that's enough intent out there. So transitioning is going to be so fucking easy. Just make sure when you have an opener like Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings, you play it a little bit more and you be like, you add a little bit sense of sexuality. Like, if she says Harry Potter, I'm like, dude, I love Harry Potter. Like, I've had the biggest crush on Hermione, Emma Watson for like the longest time. Although, like, I remember when the fourth movie came out, whatever. And there is some sort.
Yeah. Like,
What?
You can just say shit like, "You want to see my magic wand?"
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, guys, you can't say that. We're just kidding. I'm pretty sure someone's gonna go be like, "You want to see my magic wand?"
Right.
But yeah. So when you start off with that indirect, make sure your sub communications and your vibe is still direct, and you're sort of having those playful misinterpretations. You're making it direct, and then after that, you just have to be like, "What's your name?" And then, I mean, it's almost on. You don't have to clearly be like, "You are cute." You don't have to say that. Sometimes it's just understood, and that vibe that's beneath what's being said, that's where real game lies.
I 100% agree with that. I mean, I think that for me, even when I go indirect, I still have a man to woman vibe, right? So like, if I'm talking about something super direct, super indirect, it's still man to woman, and that's more again, it's in the vibe. It's not so much in the words. Like that's why I sometimes guys like will be like, "Come on, man, just give me that line that's gonna, make it sexual." But I can't. Like I wish I had something like that, but a lot of it's just the vibe, right? Like it's not anything I say specifically, just my vibe. It's just very sexual, just like very. I don't know, just like I just fuck around a lot. So
I'll replicate my vibe so that somebody can like just understand like what I'm saying. I think what was the opener? So yeah, let's go with Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings. All right, very weird ass opener. It's just like something just came to my mind. So it's like if I'm with a girl, I'm like, "Hi, excuse me, hello. I just had a random ass question, but what do you like more? Do you like Harry Potter more? Do you like Lord of the Rings more?" So let's say she replies, I'm gonna be like, "Dude, I agree. I think I had a huge crush on Hermione Granger. I don't know how you pronounce it. Granger. And then later on, you can play that thing as well. What do you call? 10 points from Gryffindor. All right. She acts bratty. You're like 10 points from Gryffindor. You're losing already. You're already losing. So you have that role play built in, and it can get really fun, man. Even with indirect, but just making sure your vibe's direct. And it's that little flirty eyes and that feeling sexuality inside you, like the way I'm looking right now. And that little mischievous smile, like something's fucking up. Like this dude's gonna like give that dick.
Yeah.
And then be grounded. You can't be like jumpy.
Like when you're like all over the place, or like you're like fidgety. Fidgety is the right word. You don't want to be fidgety.
Yeah, you want to be grounded and you want to have like laser eye contact.
Yes. But also, I will clarify that because I find some guys have like the serial killer eye contact. You should have like laser eye contact, but your eyes are like kind of relaxed. It's like a subtle difference, but I can look at a girl like laser eye contact, but it's like creepy as fuck. I'm just more like direct eye contact, but like my eyes are relaxed. I have like a little bit of sweat on my face. So that's like.
Yeah, I don't know how to teach anyone that. If someone has that serial killer eye contact, I don't know how to teach him. I can't teach him. I'm like, bro, like that's fucked up.
I think a lot of that just comes from the vibe. Like again, like if you're super tense, you are gonna have the serial killer eye contact. Relaxed, you're not gonna have the serial killer eye contact. Like I just think a lot of that is in how you feel and which you can obviously manipulate through taking a lot of action and just kind of rewiring your subconscious. All right, man, this has been an awesome fucking interview. I really enjoyed this. I think we got actually a lot of value here. A lot of different value, covered a lot of different topics. So how can people, follow you, learn more about your content and all that?
For sure, bro. It's Iron Man Lifestyle on YouTube, and it's Kshitij Sehrawat on Instagram. So hopefully Alex is going to link it up. Also, at 12:30 p.m. IST, we're going to have Alex on my channel for my podcast. We're going to extend this discussion and talk about more about online dating and stuff and how things have been working out. So that's how we can meet and talk more.
All right, awesome. Good chatting, man. And I'll talk to you soon.
All right, man.
Take care, bro. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for joining. We have also, as a quick announcement, next weekend we have some good shit. So we have Austin Summers joining us for our Sunday live Q&A, and I'm also organizing a panel of coaches. So we're going to do that, what we did 2 weeks ago, which is going to be epic as well. If you have some free time, man, if it works with your schedule, you should come on that. So basically what we do is do a panel of like 5-6 different coaches, and we just crack into a topic. It's usually pretty fun.
For sure, man, for sure.
I'll send you the info as it gets a little closer. All right, bro. Talk later.
All right, bro.